Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another week here, another season of the RSL Revival StarCraft League Season 4 2026. We're here, we are back with some StarCraft, some RSL action. I'm of course VIP with you, and joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well, and by our main casters here, by Tasis and by State, or Gemini, sorry, by Tasis and by Gemini. But welcome one and all. Again, welcome to a co-stream. This is a little bit different. We have held a co-stream for the past, like 2 seasons of RSL, 2-3 seasons, and likewise we've also done some co-streaming for EWC and some co-streaming for DreamHack as well. Co-streaming is kind of like, think of it more like a React stream, I guess, because you will hear the mainstream, right? The mainstream is in the background. You can hear their commentary, you can hear their dialogue. We are not in game, but we do have permission, of course, to co-stream. As always, of course, if you see something like this on the stream, then do assume that we do have permission from the main organizers. That is how we do here on the CranKy Ducklings. And yeah, here we go. We're getting ready for day 3. Now, when it came to the first day of play, that was last week, both Saturday and Sunday, we did wrap up the upper bracket semifinals. Up next is going to be the lower bracket round 1 matches. These players did end up losing their matches last week, and now we do have another chance at redemption. Remember, this is the lower bracket, so this is the elimination round. Players that lose here are out of the tournament. It's going to be 2 best-of-5s. This is one of my biggest criticisms about RSL, is that it is a very short broadcast, only 2 best-of-5s, but we'll make the most out of it, of course. The initial series is going to be herO versus Zoun, followed by herO versus Rogue. So 2 best-of-5s tonight. Let's go. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Archon Studios, the main sponsor, one of the main sponsors of the RSL. Of course, they are working on the miniatures game. I actually just pre-ordered my own beginner sets like a couple of days ago. So if you wish, pre-orders are currently available. I would say that if you do plan on getting into it, pre-ordering is probably ideal because they do discounts. They do have a bunch of discounts for pre-orders. It'll be up to regular pricings once it does go live and once the game is fully out. So if you want to save some money, then there are some special pre-order bundles that you can do to actually save some money, depending on how much you want to invest into said miniatures products. I have my starter set. Got my starter set. I'm good to go. and a separate set of Hydras. Got my separate set of Hydras. I do plan on. I don't know if I'll ever do a painting stream or constructing stream. Maybe it'll be a bit of a complicated setup to try to get all that going. But potentially, might look into it. But otherwise, also again, shout out to, or check out the Patreon, !RSL in the chat. You will get a link to the Patreon for the RSL to help support the team, to help support the tournament, and help support just StarCraft in general. You can do so via the RSL Patreon. There's a lot of patrons out there. There's the RSL Patreon, there's a GSL Patreon, there's our Patreon, there's a KSL Patreon. A lot of ways to crowdfund for a lot of these tournaments, depending on who you want to support and how you want to support. There are plenty of avenues out there to do so. Plenty of avenues, as we're soon to get into our respective matches. Whew. Also, we'll find out if it was a mistake to ladder beforehand. I'm already a little bit fatigued. I rarely have time to stream, rarely have time to ladder. Oh, yo, we got some posters.
This was sent out to all the
from last year.
Plus people from last year, but we're doing some extras. This is how look how big this thing is. I'd actually realized how large.
Oh no, you're Gumiho in the Pro League from years ago.
Crushed under the poster. Took us a little bit longer than we thought to get these posters out here, but they're here now. Everybody who is an Immortal tier.
Yeah.
Gets these.
But then there's also a raffle for 10 more, which we will be doing, and that's open to anyone that's on the Patreon. So any paid member on Patreon up until April 12th has a chance to be able to win one of these.
So it's a good way to get patrons
as well. We didn't get to sign them just yet. We will be doing that very soon. But yes, if you want our cool signatures on
this is going to look great on your wall, right next to your Hulk Hogan poster and all your other Ninja Turtles, all the... right by Britney Spears.
That's a nice it's a nice poster. I appreciate it.
So you need that. We have it framed here. I'm going to try to carefully put this back over here.
Don't destroy our set, Dazeless.
Is it? That's kind of in the shot. All right, whatever.
For those who are curious, that is the poster from last year's offline finals. That's why it's a poster of herO, Classic, Zoun, and Raynor. Those are the top 4 players of RSL last year that were a part of the offline finals. So it sounds like they made those for their patrons, and looks like they're going to be raffling them out as well. Unfortunately, it's a raffle. I was assuming that they were maybe going to be selling them, but no. It looks like it's going to be a raffle just to get people into their Patreon. So if you want a chance at, of course, receiving said poster, you can can do so via the Patreon. Can do so. Otherwise, looks like we have our vetoes. Okay, game 1 is going to be on 10,000 feet. Game 2, the Old Republic. Game 3, Necropolis. Game 4, Missing You Today. And Game 5, Celestial Enclave. Oh, some interesting maps here. Okay. You have my attention, but again, we are getting ready for our first best of 5 of the broadcast. Let's go. Game 1, 10,000 feet. Smaller map of the map pool. Let's go.
We got a couple more seasons this year, but obviously you don't want to lose out.
Hi, this is the main cast. Playoffs, basically. Copian. Meanwhile, big shout out to Solen's Bart in the chat for subscribing for 11 months, almost a year of support. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Pretty disappointing.
Do appreciate it.
I think they're definitely coming into this wanting to go farther, and they're very hungry for more.
This is a replay on the key feed. I'm confused. It must be, I guess. It looks like they are doing it live. Sometimes they do cast via replays. That does happen sometimes. You can tell. I think that we did have a replay cast already previously, but you can tell because they don't have cams. So every now and then, if they ever like start a series in RSL and they don't show this screen and they go straight into the game, then you know it's like a replay cast because they don't have player cams. That's a bit of a hack, quote unquote, but that's how you often tell if they do have a replay cast, which sometimes happens. Sometimes player schedules aren't really aligning too much, and so they have to do via replays. It happens. Bearing in mind it's an online tournament, but let's go.
Series that we've casted actually at this season, it's not getting vetoed at all.
So early. Oh no, sorry. I'll catch up. I'll scroll up. Scroll up. True. Subscribe for 39 months, Pap. You're crazy, Einstein. You're crazy. Thank you. We appreciate the support. 39. Crazy. Thank you. Also, shout out to Live VIP for the raid. Cap.
Barracks over on the bottom left-hand side of the base. Yes, indeed.
Before we get into this, of course, in the bottom right-hand corner, we do have Cure. We have Cure, the South Korean Terran player for Team Liquid. In the top left, we do have Zoun for Onside. If you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. What they're getting at here, this is a fake proxy ranks at a Cure. Cure, he does hide his ranks on his own side of the map. Zoun will probe scout, and the goal is to force Zoun to overreact to the fake proxy out of Cure.
RSL is the first StarCraft 2 tournament I'm getting to cast, right? By the way, GSL starting next week as well, guys. It's going to be a lot of StarCraft 2 action coming your way. But, you know,
GSL already started.
Last year, we saw that there was kind of some fundamental problems in the matchup in that it just seemed like Terran had to kill Protoss before Protoss got too big. If Protoss was able to kind of just sit back, it was hard to deal with them, right? Because, you know, eventually they have so much splash damage, they can obliterate everything. They're kind of hard to attack into, especially with how fluid and smooth StarCraft 2 groups move at. The splash damage is just so powerful. Now, Blizzard has patched the game, and the storms now last longer. They kind of linger on the screen, so they don't do as much instant damage, but they're almost like a kind of a zoning mechanism, so to speak.
Yeah, and now it's to the point where if Terran is able to get to a pretty late game scenario, if they get a whole bunch of ghosts, they get all their Vikings and Liberators and stuff like that, it can actually be very difficult for the Protoss even to bust the Terran if they're being very good with their defenses. And so you see Protoss players just taking like 5, 6, 7 bases, trying to get a huge amount of economy. So a bit of a switch up, but overall we have actually a very interesting style coming out from Zoun.
Their analysis on the meta was interesting, to say the least. There were some half truths in there, in the sense that just some half truths. Like the splash damage wasn't necessarily an issue; it's the greater economy that is I would say very prevalent when it comes to mid to late game. We'll get into it if the game does last that long. Until then, we do have a proxy Stargate, so cheeky moves here from Zoun.
Yeah. No, there's something about waiting for the 2 because you one-shot workers so fast.
With 3. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, 3. Yeah.
But fake proxy versus the real proxy. Let's go.
Last season, I think last year when he did actually wait for all 3 for the one-shot, and it was extremely effective. So he might be trying to go for that here as he's just kind of killing off this Reaper, trying to get it away so it can't scout anything. If he denies the scout, that would be massive because he wouldn't actually see anything, but that's a big tell in and of itself because you don't see any tech back behind the mineral line there. You could also have had a pylon on the bottom left, like Mapu's mentioning, so lots of unscouted spots there for Cure, so he can't actually understand that there's going to be a Stargate coming out right now. He does not have that information, so good denial from Zoun.
So this is going to come in pretty quickly here. You know, honestly, the angle's not great because, yeah, you can see the barracks immediately sees it.
Yeah, Marines in position.
And the Marines can kind
Nice
of zone
zoning.
it. This is actually pretty bad. Wow, it's not even going to engage with SCVs at all.
Yeah, that's a bit of a missed opportunity there for Zoun, of course. It's a bit unlucky that the barracks and the CC were being made on that bottom lower left-hand side of the base, so unfortunately didn't really get a big jump on anything, and also realizes that there's the stasis war there, so we'll just send the one Marine trying to get it so it gets stuck outside of the landing zone. Does he actually get that? It looks like...
Yeah, you got it.
There
Got it. Very nice. So won't have to wait any longer with that CC, so it's very nice. And the Oracle is still unable to do anything. And actually, the mines on the high ground will be able to get some damage. Now talk about... That's so funny, because that's the spot that Kira had his buildings. He had that totally scouted out. Zoun didn't, and he's getting punished for it.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, 8 probe kills is unheard of.
You don't get that anymore.
You don't get that. That, like, never happens. That was something Protos's, Terrans were complaining about a lot for a while until it's like, well, you just have to get good.
Yeah.
You're just never allowed to let it happen. You have to have your screen in the right place at the right time. But the fact that he got away with it is huge. Could he get any more, possibly?
Yeah, it's going to be hard, of course. The Stalkers and the Phoenix.
But yeah, so far, really rough start. Really rough start for Zoun, losing the 8 probes. That is typically game-ending damage. The medevac is going to go down, but this is already worth it. This is already well worth it. Even unloads 2 of the mines.
Phoenix is
He unloads.
We'll at least kill the medevac.
More value.
By Zoun, but still, like you said, 8 probes. You really never see that type of damage from a Widow Mine drop these days. So great from Kira to be able to find that little avenue in the back of the base there.
Yeah. The Widow Mines, I mean, they're still here for a little bit, so...
So typically where you should be directing the conversation from here after that damage is Zoun's position, right? Zoun, he's in a really rough position. The pressure's on Zoun to get more damage done. He needs to counterattack, he needs to be hyper-aggressive and hit a timing, or we need to be hyper-greedy and try to catch back up that way. But right now, the onus is on Zoun to do one of the 2 extremes because he's behind.
Probe kills early on. I mean, that's really unheard of. I'm curious to see how strong the Terran push is going to be off of that, because that's just such a crazy number of workers to kill and get away with.
Yeah, and it's not even like Zoun is going to have the most insane army behind this either, because he went for so much from the Stargate that he's obviously had to delay the rest of his tech as well. His blink is going to be pretty late. His charge is only just now starting. He's not going to have a robo for fast Colossus. His Templar Archives is only now starting as the Terran push.
Oh, can you get the medevac?
To make its way across the map. Nice save by Kira to keep that medevac alive. That's actually very crucial since he doesn't have too many himself. But this army from Kira has the threat to just kind of punch right through Zoun if he can't get enough units out quick enough.
Yeah, he's going to try to come up there and snipe that Marauder.
Get some Marauder.
But yeah, this is going to hit real hard. He has powered up quite a bit. He's going to come in again, and, you know...
So Zoun is doing the correct thing. Like, you have to try to trade, and he's going, like, a Marauder here and there, a Marine here and there. Like, he has to trade and ideally keep Kure busy, maybe even backstab, and try to go for a counterattack and force Kure back home, but Kure, he just commits across the map.
Tagging the army over and over and basically tracking the movement, but this may be a little bit less about, like, knowledge of the attack itself and more about, like, have you actually macroed out enough? There's one Archon over here, and it's getting targeted immediately. It is killed off. 2 Widow Mines go down. And I don't know, man. This is looking pretty scary. There's a decent amount of...
Yeah, brutal pick off. The Archon goes down. Nice mine connections as well. We do have a decent chunk of Blink Stalkers. We have the better concave, but the shield battery is out of energy.
Stalkers are becoming pretty squishy. And
can he just break through? He is. Oh my god.
Win this game. I think he might have.
Yeah, this is really rough. He hit right before charge even finished, so those charge slots that those zealots he had didn't even have charge, so they were just walking into the Widow Mines.
Oh no, the Oracles.
A couple of Widow Mine shots will get a little bit of friendly fire
Drags
on
the mine
some of the
shot
bio,
in.
but I mean, you're left with so few units as Zoun. There's a couple Stalkers and Zealots just frantically getting warped in to be able to defend against this, whereas Kure is just streamlining everything across the map. Takes a nice, swift first game in the series.
Beautifully done. Yeah, I mean, that all comes down to that Widow Mine drop. It's interesting, you were pointing this out as well, that Kure had that spot scouted.
Yeah.
Like, he had buildings there. He, like, clearly has had
GG well played. Again, this also shows and goes in line with how brutal and how unforgiving PvT is in the early to mid game. As they were kind of mentioning, and I'm going to echo that, of course, 8 probes. 8 probes were killed by the mine drop. and that was the beginning of the end. That was, if not just the end of the game then and there. Now I say that there are ways to recover when it comes to, as we were trying to emphasize, like a backstabbing, counterattacking, getting like bypassing the army and getting to the main, getting to the natural. But what do we talk about all the time when it comes to 10,000 feet? 10,000 feet has the shortest rush distance in the entire map pool, right? Like if you want to be aggressive, like this is the map to be aggressive on. So you have less time to react, less time to slow down your opponent, less time to engage. This map is even more unforgiving than other maps when it comes to taking early game losses and early game damage. It isn't just losing those 8 probes, but also on top of that, the fact that they, Gemini touched on it, which again was a good thing they touched on, was the fact that it was a proxy Stargate opener which failed to do damage, which also delayed everything else, right? Blink was delayed, +1 was delayed, charge was delayed, splash damage was delayed, everything was also delayed because of the Stargate. So those two things come together, the fact that the Stargate didn't do any damage, and of course the 8 probe kills that kind of led into, and because we're on 10,000 feet, it's just game. It's a game then and there. GG well played. Curie hit his timing. He moved out, was able to claim the game then and there. Hopefully, Zoun can tighten up his early game defense and make sure that doesn't happen again. Again, losing that many workers that early on, like that is unacceptable at this level of play. Unfortunately, Zoun wasn't quite paying attention at the time, but we gotta pay attention. Like at this level of play, you know, here at RSL, amongst players like your Cures, like your Beyonds, like your Marus, like you have to be on point with your defense. Otherwise, things can very quickly snowball out of control. And again, that's one of the big things about StarCraft, and there's obviously criticisms you can levy when it comes to how punishing StarCraft can be, whether it's with Widowmine drops, whether it's with Oracle Harass, whether it's with Adepts or Dark Templar, but harassing and economic damage, like, or I should say ways to get economic damage are quite intense, and if it gets out of hand, out of control too early on, it can just be game ending. But GG, otherwise we're getting ready for game number 2. Bearing in mind that the series did begin on 10,000 feet, but I believe we do have larger maps on the horizon. We have Celestial Enclave, we have Missing You Today, and we have Throne of the Dunes.
It's actually Throne of the Dunes is our second map. Nice.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Cool. Another similar map to Old Republic, honestly, so yeah, kind of likely will play out the same. Although Kira is sending an early SCV across, that could be for a proxy or it could be for an engineering bay block. We'll see which one he decides to go for. But Kira continuing to kind of keep up with the shenanigans a little bit more this series. Wasn't exactly what I was expecting from him.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what kind of game Kira would show us this time around. This is going to be a proxied Rax all the way over here, but it's only going to be one. He did not send a second SCV out. Yes. Now we need to take a look at the gas counts as well, because if he's just going for a single gas, it's likely just going to be a proxy Reaper. But if it could be a double gas, there's
some Marauder.
Still a chance that you can go for like a factory with it too if you want. Proxy Marauder is usually actually also on one gas, surprisingly enough.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. You'd think it would require a little bit more gas with that, but
yeah.
So Zoun coming into the main base will be seeing this double gas and should be able to tick that off the possibility list. But it could still technically be a proxied factory with this barracks, but again, I feel like that's not something we normally see. Maro did kind of whip it out actually against Zoun. Now that I'm thinking about it, and it looks like he might actually do that. Yeah. So
Marine into proxy factory is 1-1-1.
Here is taking a page out of Maru's book. Saw how well that worked against Zoun in the series they played in the upper bracket. He's going to see how he can do it in this one.
Very cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to work out here. I do like the proxy Marauder.
So cool. So as we were mentioning, Maru did do this very same build against Zoun last week. It is a 1-base all-in, proxy 1-1-1, going into tank production and going into the medevac as well for high ground vision and support. Obviously this hits very, very hard, and Zoun has to piece it all together. Now Zoun, he does scout and he does recognize that alas the Rax is missing, so something is wrong, but doesn't know exactly what is wrong yet. Ooh, as he gets zoned out.
He doesn't actually get in, I don't think.
That's insane he doesn't get in, by the way.
I'm not sure. Did he go in and then out? Am I?
No.
Okay, he did get in. Okay, never mind.
Oh, okay,
He
so his
didn't go all
gas
the way
is.
in. That was just the second wave.
But he didn't stay inside.
True.
So,
but
yeah, I mean,
getting
obviously
the two gas scout is massive in that spot, though.
And so the 1-1-1 just outside of
Shame,
the base. This is going to hit really hard. There are 2 batteries making here, so that's really helpful. This probe, I think, is going to actually find it. We'll see if he changes the... Oh, no, hold on a second.
Well, it's going to be a...
Looking at like a constellation here.
Yeah, he won't see.
It's a Big Dipper. Okay. He's actually not going to find it. I was wrong, by the way.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I've never even thought of that, but it is so true how much those things
Oh,
look like
oh.
constellations on
He
star
sees.
maps.
He
That's
knows.
so funny.
Yeah.
All right, so he will find the proxy, sees the factory proxy there as well. A second barracks even getting thrown down on this. That's actually crazy. He's going really committed as Cure. So last time that Zoun played against this against Maru, he just went for a straight-up one-base 4-gate and just had one of the gateways proxied and sent all of his stalkers across the map.
And he base traded.
Did a bunch of SCV damage and then recalled home and still lost. So this time he's got a totally different approach. He's keeping his natural.
It's still 4-gate but no proxy
at the front, and he's going to be trying to kite the units as they come across, but still gets a couple more gateways back at home to defend. Where is that medevac going?
What am I even looking at?
He thinks that Zoun is doing what he did against Maru. He thinks he's sending the stalkers across the map, so he's actually preempting that and dropping everything in his main base because he thinks Zoun is going to do the same play.
No, he's not map hacking. That much is clear here.
That's insane, actually.
Misread out of Cure. He's blindly assuming that stalkers are coming and he's going to get a zealot. He does confirm that, but again, this heavily delays Cure.
Way in the back, but like, no, he sees it in the front, so it's like, what? That's so confusing from Zoun's
It's so
POV.
funny because like Cure's like, I'm such a gamer. He's like, no, this is the move. As you counter their counter, and it's like, no, man. Now 4 gateways are finished back at home. 4 warp gates, excuse me, are finished back at home.
Cure, he mind game himself.
You should just take a base there, man. You should just build a command center.
Yeah, dude, why not?
SCV's there. Yeah, just take that. Get the natural later.
This is actually crazy. So, I mean, Cure's just going to sit this out, basically. He's going to just try to get a massive army and just make it so hard for Zoun to be able to defend against this. Because, like, if you just slow creep tanks closer and closer this early,
3 tanks
really
are
hard
besieged
to actually defend that, especially if, as Zoun, you didn't go for a fast robo response.
Ideally, Zoun waits for the move at all. Speaking of,
no Immortals.
4
tanks is kind of ridiculous at this point in the game.
This is pretty
Here comes the backstab. He comes in.
I've never quite cast a game like this. So
can he deny combat shields?
Stalkers are here. This is like,
he can.
Actually?
Oh, combat shields.
Combat shield.
Yeah,
that's
good. This was intended to hit with combat shields.
1 tanker's down.
One of those tanks. A second one also
Gets
going to
2.
fall very quickly. That's
very
actually
nice
to be able to pull off this defense down. But these batteries are slowly going to lose their energy because the shells from the tanks are still connecting. And honestly, he's just going to be able to kill.
Maybe behind this, catching more add-ons, he can maybe catch a tank.
Is down for Cure, but
2 tanks left.
Pylon blocked is Zoun, so he can't actually get even any more units in this defense.
He's
right now.
coming in from behind. He's trying
the
to.
Stalkers are able to pick off anything that's going to be in between these two. They're going to run up. They're going to hit these tanks. Man.
Oh, a little bit messy.
Can we kill any of these tanks?
Yeah,
there we go. Gets 1, gets 2. 1 tank left. Zoun holds.
Oh my god.
He's holding.
That was almost a disaster for Zoun.
A little bit more.
To kill a few of them, luckily. Still is killing quite a few units that are kind of coming out from those production lines, but I think that Cure should be able to take this lower position.
Nah, yeah, he kind of got on top of that final tank.
Okay.
He doesn't have enough.
This is funny. 1 HP Viking landed here. The thing is, these stalkers are going to be picked off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might be one of these funny games where like nobody needs to expand for a little bit. Like Terran's like, oh, it's actually better to just keep making stuff.
Yeah.
And then expand like right before you mine out.
I think this is the play as Cure. Since you're so committed to it, you just kind of force Zoun to have to try to expand again because like, oh, he could easily be expanding behind this as the Terran player, but you're just continuing to all in anyways, then you just come in with another massive push. So
I mean, technically,
really
I think Maru did something similar as well, where Cure doesn't have to expand, he can always just lift and land his CC.
Committing to this location, knowing
like
that
when he mines
one-base
out.
Terran should still be favored against a one-base Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just kind of keep powering up. You're going to have so many more tanks. I love just getting the Viking. It's like, just get anything. Does this make attacking units? We'll take whatever it has.
Right.
And yeah, I would just be very thorough about checking the rest of the map to make sure there's no hidden base. Because that is, games like this are where hidden bases come up. Oh my God.
He gets stim.
This is
the backstab again.
Right now.
Yeah, it's a glitch in the Matrix over here.
So funny.
Well, I mean, denying stim is pretty massive.
But yeah, Cure his army's
Basically
insane.
the most important
It's
upgrade
actually
Terran can
insane.
have. I actually think
There's an immortal.
Back up and go get stim again.
Yeah, I feel like you do need to just kill off these units, make sure they're killed off. But he's going to try to go up the ramp anyways. The force field was missed. So that's actually a big mistake from Zoun, just to let these units come on up. Only a single medevac will make it hard to heal up a lot of these Marines, and the tanks will get ferried up as well.
Yeah,
but
he
now
pulls
the
up, boys.
probes are getting pulled into this. The
Can he get on top of the tanks?
For Zoun. Can he actually make this defense happen? He's
gets
killing
1, gets
a bunch
2.
of the tanks as the Immortals get a lot
1
of
tank
damage,
left,
but
gets all
everything
3.
is falling and evaporating in front of our eyes. Zoun with
Oh my
nothing
God.
left but a few units. That's going to be GG.
GG.
Cure comes up 2-0.
That was pretty crazy. Really interesting game. It's so...
GG, well played. A lot of mind games. A lot of mind games in that game. Winding it back, remember, again, Cure, it looks like he assumed that Zoun was going to go for the Maru response when it came to going for the counterattack, and Cure, that did delay him. We had some really nice moves out of Zoun when it came to the backstab. Coming in from behind, catching reinforcements, denying combat shields, catching his tank as well. The moment where things swung in favor of Cure is when we saw Zoun attempt to surround, but his surround was delayed because he was stuck trying to kill a reinforcing tank. If you remember, he had 5 Stalkers counterattacking, and 3 of them got caught attacking the reinforcing tank. The other 2 came in from behind. They went down early, and same with the push as well. Like, it was all very messy. It was a very messy engage from Zoun, just because of the reinforcements and just because of how he approached it. So just very, very messy. GG. GG well played with that Cure he broke on through. It was close. It was very, very close when it came to Zoun's initial defense, but once his natural was killed, that was game. Like, that was game. Like, as I was mentioning, one base versus one base, Terran has a better economy. Straight up, Terran has a better economy. They have the better production. They will just outscale you. So after losing that natural base, like, that was kind of one and done there for Zoun. He had to hold then and there, and again, he barely wasn't able to. GG. And now we have Cure. Cure's up 2-0. Cure needs one more game to claim the series. We're going to be coming to a short break before we come back with game number 3 to conclude this initial best of 5. Potentially, like, I'm hoping for a back and forth. I want to see a game 4 and a game 5, but the pressure is on Zoun.
Oh my God.
I go, oh, I'm feeling racist. Now they don't know what I was going to say. Oh, I'm going to do it again. I'm so racist.
What did we miss?
That was close.
Oh, no.
It's the mute button. Okay? That's...
Thank God we have it for that reason.
Could you guys hear me blowing my nose? Was it
no,
okay?
I couldn't. And I couldn't hear those racist
like, you guys
things
didn't hear
just
the
said
toilet
either.
flushing while I was doing play-by-play. It's just a mute button, okay? Yeah. You think we're in church? We're actually on little toilet seats over here, because sometimes these games get really long.
These are the gamer toilet seat, man.
I like how they revealed that they have an emergency mute button just in case they say something. Just
okay, you take care of this. I went, oh, that's good. I went, mute button. I went, and just flushed it down. So,
oh, no.
All right, we're getting off topic here. Sign up for the Patreon. It goes to support the show.
Oh, my God.
And we're going to go to a break, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes. We'll be right back, guys. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. Oh, no. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the first series. Welcome back to the RSL, the Revival StarCraft League Season 4 2026, day number 3 co-stream. We are mid-series with Zoun versus Cure. Currently, Cure is up 2-0, and we're hoping for a longer series. We're hoping for a back and forth, but the pressure is on Zoun. We're hoping that we can have a more competitive series here, but Cure is one game away from claiming the series here and now.
Way to lose some of those games. Like the first game, your proxy just not working, and then you lose to Widow Mines. Second game, you get proxied hardcore with a 1-1-1 that you already lost to in the upper bracket as well. Like, this is not how Zoun wanted the series to start off.
True.
Yeah,
very
indeed.
fast.
Like you were saying, I think Cure definitely took a look at that Maru series and got some inspiration. And you read a lot online about how tough it is for these other races, but Terran can still get it done in tournaments with preparation.
Preach,
with
brother.
These builds.
Preach it. Yeah, man, it is. It's looking pretty good so far for Cure. Wants to close this out nice and soon. I'd imagine Necropolis will be coming up as our map number 3. So not a map we see as much. One of the Patreon voted maps into the pool. So very excited to see this one. Curious to see if if this will end up being an actual macro game out of Cure, because he doesn't seem like he really wants to play that given that last game. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how the rest of this series actually goes. And if Zoun could actually give up, I don't know.
Yeah, so far it's been a hyper-aggressive series as a Cure with non-stop all-ins, 2 base all-in in game 1 and a 1 base all-in in game 2. I'm excited to see what Necropolis has to offer. That's what I'm most curious about. Necropolis is one of the Patreon-voted maps. It is not in the current map pool. I believe it is going to be a part of the voting, or a part of a submitted map for TLMC. Let's find out.
It is going to be our voted map, Necropolis, and it is a pretty map.
Oh yeah, I love these textures and just like the colors and everything that they are able to put onto these maps. Avex is actually so good at this. Like, all of his maps just look absolutely gorgeous. So big shout out to him. He's actually posting some recent ones on Twitter as well with his new TLMC submissions coming up. So he's got some really gorgeous maps, and Necropolis is absolutely one of those. So.
Fun fact, this season we are once again going to be one of the main judges for TLMC. Have a confirmation on that one.
So true. So true. They picked the
Stepping back into the judging seat.
Things down the ramps. It's so aesthetically pleasing.
I agree. He's got those cool little purple crystals floating right next to them as well. The themes, man.
Neon.
Yeah, dude. I do like it. It's very nice. It's a very, very nice color.
Yeah, indeed. Well, the first thing we can say about this game is that Cure's barracks is in his base.
True.
Yeah.
And that he's going for
Single
one
gas.
gas. So not going to be anything crazy at the very beginning of this game. The probe coming over from Zoun will get a scout up the ramp here.
So very quickly, aside from the openers, quickly analyzing Necropolis, there's a ramp coming into the natural, which is a rare sight to see. So a very defendable 2-base setup here on Necropolis. There's a higher chance that we macro on this map. Very, very high chance that we build up into 2 bases, we get a third, and then we build up into the mid game, so we can sink our teeth a little bit more into Necropolis.
We'll actually still be kind of favoring a faster tech option to get his faster factory and stuff. Might still go for some heavy earlier aggression with some with some Hellions and maybe like the very fast Widow Mine drop still. We'll see what he wants to do with this fast Marine play. But yeah, Zoun is definitely going to be breathing a sigh of relief, like you mentioned, seeing the fact that there is a barracks in the base for the first time in the series.
Yeah, indeed. Cure going to take his CC on the low ground there. The probe delayed it for just a moment. And, ooh, looks like Zoun might be the one feeling a bit cheeky this game. He has gone to the corner of the map, which is a good place to throw down a building. We'll have to see what he wants to go for here as Wargate
Are we tempted to go Twilight Council opener into proxy?
Yeah, would he actually go for another one of these late proxy Stargates? Because that would be kind of crazy, I feel like. Because the first one just did absolutely nothing, man. Like, it did so little damage, and it put him so far behind. Very fast second gateway coming out. That is extremely abnormal. And the fact that he's also still not even making anything with that probe, he might just be going in for a rescout later, but it's a very late rescout. I feel like you'd normally go for this much earlier just to confirm that there is the CC and just to kind of get in between the Reaper. So yeah, it will still be a proxied pylon just a bit closer, and he can actually, like Mapu's pointing out,
he can warp in on the other side.
Warp in across that ledge. So a very cheeky little move.
So now we know why we saw Zoun go for the initial second gateway. So really fast second gateway into the proxy pylon, into aggression across the map. We'll see if he can be cheeky like this. We'll see if he gets away with it. He needs to get damage done as he does proxy a third gateway.
So I like the build choice here from Zoun. He's getting these extra gateways, as you mentioned. No extra tech just yet. Now we see the Twilight coming down. And yeah, it's looking like Cure's just looking to try a normal Widow drop game here, but not sure if he'll get the chance, as the medevac is now on the way.
At least Cure's unaware.
What he's actually going to be warping in is the thing. My first thought was, when I initially thought of the whole idea, is DTs. Because like this is such an opportunity just to warp in 2 DTs right in their face. But the Twilight Council was very late, and the fact that he went for the fast second gateway as well doesn't mean that he's probably not going to be going for that. So I'm guessing he's just going to do it with like Adepts just to try and get some of those in. But or
they
maybe
have shade. They could just shade up.
Yeah,
the
that's
ramp,
what I'm saying. That you
true.
can just do that. So it's like, maybe he's not doing that at all. Maybe we're just overanalyzing this, and
Yeah.
he's just gonna walk up the ramp like this is 2010. Like I don't know, because it really looks like he's doing that right
Just
now.
reinforcing
That
Stalkers,
would've
he
been
does
cool,
commit.
but it is going to be the warp in on this side. The medevac has left, so he does not have those.
Now, I believe there's no safety bunker for Cure, so this can get advantage done. The bunker's going to be denied. Massive pickup. That's a kill, not a cancel.
SCVs immediately evacuate. Some
Nice
of those will
damage.
fall. I think a little bit hesitant if he wants to fight with those SCVs or not. Does hold position at the top of the ramp there. And this CC is taking fire right now.
Dude, this is such a wacky build. Like, he's literally just brute forcing this up into the natural. He's coming on in, trying to kill as many SCVs as he can. It's right when the Widow Mine drop leaves.
a mine drop.
So that means they won't be home to defend, but it's also
No,
meaning
no.
he doesn't have anything back at home to defend
Ooh,
himself.
11
11 probes getting killed off, and they both get out in the medevac. But can Cure actually defend against all of these Stalkers in his natural?
Those are the dream Widow Mine shots there. Couldn't get any better than that. So many workers.
Oh, he's
falling
gonna kill
inside.
the
Is this
CC.
CC going to go down? He's going to
The
have to push
CC.
down and try
The
to save it
CR,
right now.
he
He's
gets
already
it.
goes down.
That's actually crazy that he gets the snipe off on the CC. He can easily just run away. He doesn't actually need to stay here any longer. The tank shot's definitely going to solidify that fact. That's a great pickoff if you're Zoun. Sure, you just lost a whole bunch of probes back at home to that double Widow Mine drop, but you just killed a bunch yourself and got the CC. You're forcing Cure now into an all-in position. Will he actually continue with that is the question, or is he actually going to try to make another command center?
There's no way, right? You'd just be so far behind. I
know,
mean,
it's-
he does have the Widow Mine to try and go for another round 2 of killing the probes, but this time,
Oh.
Zoun sees it.
Okay.
Nice retarget there.
Yeah.
Does get 2, but it's still not enough.
That was one Stalker and 2 probes.
And Zoun's actually taking a third base. He feels totally confident with his position that he knows he can just take this third base with Blink finishing very soon as well.
Yeah, this is a little bit greedy out of Zoun. So winding it back here, Cure's all in. Cure, he's just one base all in. He has sustained too many losses, too much damage back at home. It's all or nothing. Stim is halfway done. And Zoun has to be careful not to be overly greedy, because this army that Cure is building up is still going to be quite terrifying.
Keeping his tanks in position and whatnot. But it really does look like he's just going to power up for a eventual one base all in, because you'd have to take the CC immediately after it dies. Otherwise, if you're putting this much investment, he also, I think, got another barracks or something. Like, you have to just go all in at this point. So he's basically going to take what happened last game, where he went super all in with the one base proxy, and is just trying to do it off of as a reaction, basically, which I'm not sure how successful it will be.
Yeah, I like the choice to take a third here. If Cure did re-expand, he would still be ahead. So I do like that, and even if he loses some workers to
damage,
harassment,
3 probes.
he can remake those a little bit quicker. This Raven going to drop as many turrets as it can, picking off some more workers, which is nice.
3, 4,
We do have
5.
Zoun's
Do we get
army in the middle of
6?
the
Not
map,
quite.
on the lookout for the push as it comes.
Oh my
Move
god.
command in the middle of the army is a big mistake.
That's
for
what,
Zoun.
2, 3
If he's gonna
Stalkers
lose
going
a few
down?
Stalkers, you actually cannot make these mistakes as Zoun, because he's gone for this fast third base instead of going for all the gateways and the tech much faster. It means his units are quite sparse. He doesn't really have that many. He's going to get a blink up into the main base.
we're going for the base
trying to
trade.
delay and try to deny any
We commit across the map. Zoun, he can always recall. He can always recall back home. But again, Cure has a massive army. He can still kill.
Very large.
Yes, a lot of tanks mixed in there. 4 tanks, a
Cure
Raven,
can still
almost
kill.
30 Marines. I mean, that's going to be very hard to deal with. He's going to
No
have to buy
battery.
some time with force fields, I feel like. You can't let him just run
Tank
up the ramp
sieges.
here. But
He's within range of the
what's gonna
robo.
happen.
Yeah, the
Probes just
natural's dead.
evacuate
The natural's just
immediately.
dead.
You know, he's getting a lot of damage in the Terran base.
Yeah, if he can force Cure into a totally one-base situation, kill off all of the SCVs and kill off some of the reinforcements.
Yeah, Cure, he defends
can
back at
just
home.
Kind of leave
He has
the
a tank.
natural and just hope that Cure doesn't realize that he took this third base. So he can set up a flank on
we
that
gotta keep
side, and
going.
he can eventually probe that up later if Cure either runs away. Oh, but he's actually scouted. He knows it's there in the first place. So Cure's just going to ignore it and just go into the main base or attempt to. A nice
Oh,
force
the
field will be able to
very
kill a
nice
lot of that
save.
off.
It's the
Tank spot
Cure.
on the Zealots is equally as damaging.
This is so hard to attack into as Zoun. You have to come from 2 fronts here. That flank is set up near the third base. And the buildings start to fall.
Yeah, he's within range of all the tech. The tech is going down. Zoun, he has to come in for the surround. He has to collapse it with everything at once. Even then, it's not secure that he's going to be able to break through.
Units walked in as soon as these gateways are off cooldown. His whole position in, gets anti-armor missile. That's pretty funny.
Here he comes.
It was a little bit early. The fight's not quite yet, but Zoun is on the clock here. He has to make something
He's going for it.
soon.
He commits.
And now's the moment. He goes, charges in from the back, going to get on top of these tanks.
He's going to get the tanks.
Because Archon Sentry finding the force
nice
in the main
force field.
Get picked up.
That was a massive force field to try and section off a lot of those Marines, and it allowed all the tanks on the left side to get killed off. So Zoun will actually mount a defense against this push.
Zoun holds.
That will put him in a very good position because he still has that third base. Since Cure decided to ignore it earlier, that means that Zoun now can resaturate it. Sure, he only has 25 probes, but he can just kind of play the long game at this point. He can just eventually get a few more probes out. It's forcing Cure to go mega all in, and now going for the SCV pull as well. If Cure doesn't win with this push,
the problem here is that Cure is down to one tank. He's down to one tank.
These SCVs make the push a lot stronger. He's
He
going to
gets
catch the
caught.
Terran army.
He gets caught out.
Oh, the
They're
all low.
He gets
out on 1 HP there. That could have been game over instantly. Zoun still in a very commanding position in this game, though. And here come the SCVs to try and help out.
I can't believe he didn't snipe down that medevac. An unfortunate misfire there, but will still allow Cure in this game.
Yeah, Cure's still on siege. Zelda coming from behind, and Zoun will make a series out of this.
On top of everything, the tank
we have a series. We have a game. It's not going to be 3-0 if it almost was.
Get killed off here, and Zoun is looking like he's much more comfortable.
Yeah, Zoun going to close this one out, it looks like, as the last Marines start to fall here. The Archon stays strong, even lives through that engagement, and GG is called. Zoun fights back in game 3. It is 2-1 in favor of Cure, Gemini.
What a weird build. What a weird strategy.
What a weird game.
Yeah, that whole thing was just so unorthodox. Like the way the pylon was positioned really did make it look like he was trying to do something sneaky with that, but he just decided that he was going to do like a 4-gate all in, but not really all in, just walk up the ramp. Like the timing of it was so strange.
Pretty sure it was 3 gates. But yeah, it was really nice there from Zoun. As I mentioned, he was very committed, counterattacking as the drop went across the map, and likewise, Cure was being greedy because Cure skipped his bunker. There was no safety bunker, so we had an even weaker position at the natural, so Cure was caught with his pants down. The pants were down, forcing the one-way all-in. The one-way all-in almost worked. Cure, he committed even harder, pushing into the main, but in the end, he was punished for that. So Force Fields cut his army in half. GG.
Never lose, basically.
GG.
But you can still make mistakes when there's a bunch of tanks sieged outside your natural, and you have to take that engagement at the same time from both sides. Still tricky to close out. Cure made a good game of it. I think it was the right decision to not re-expand. I think you're just going to be behind forever, especially against the Protoss third. So he did what he could, but eventually losing the orbital was the end of the game, it felt like.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that he didn't realize soon enough that it was actually getting killed off. Wasn't able to get the repair, but regardless, nice decision-making from Zoun. Let's see if he can continue that form into the next game and force us to a game number 5. Let's move on to Missing You Today for our next map.
Here we are, game number 4 between Zoun and Cure. Cure currently in the lead 2-1, spawning in the bottom right, and in Zoun in the top left, our Protoss player here. I like what he did last game, you know, kind of taking the fight to the Terran, saying, you're not the only one who can play aggressive.
Hello.
If you're going to do a cheeky build that tries to catch me unaware, I'm going to have a lot of units, and if you're doing something normal, I'm just going to hit you hard.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and it's really weird to bring that out on a map that has a high ground natural in the first place, so you can't...
So Curie sends out the SCV very early on. We're going for the proxy racks across the map. And here it is. Here come the Raxes. We'll keep an eye on the gas count of Cure. We'll see if he goes for a proxy 1-1-1 again.
A proxy coming out from Cure, very aggressively positioned as well. So this one will definitely be in Zoun's face very early. So Cure looking back at what was working well earlier in the series and is going to try to replicate that.
Yeah, Cure says, I tried a normal game and I lost, so here we are. We're back to proxying. Is
that Protoss scum playing a normal macro game? Ah, I hate it.
Yeah, it is going to be the double gas here as well as the Rax. This Pro went down but didn't see what's going on exactly. He obviously sees now there's no Rax in the main. The question is, you don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be 1-1-1? Is it going to be a Marauder push? You got to find this and get the information. Right now, we do see it's just the one Reaper with the second one on the way as well.
He might actually try to go for a bunker in the natural to try and block. Yep, there he goes. We'll be able to deny the natural with that SCV, so that's very nice. So Zoun is going to have to basically forced to over-respond to what's happening right now because he saw this exact setup in the game a couple games ago, and he ended up getting killed by a 1-1-1.
I mean, he's getting a safety zealot, thankfully.
Whereas Kira this time is not going to go for the full proxy. He's just putting the factory in his main base. So Zoun is kind of respecting the fact that it could be another proxy 1-1-1, but it's just the reaction and then the bunker. He only gets that information now, and that's going to mean that he's basically forced into one base until he can dislodge this.
Yeah, this is going to slow down the expansion of Zoun by a lot. He even loses one probe as he went for a Zealot first. So hard to catch this Reaper. I mean, you just can't catch this Reaper with a Zealot. So here we do see a Stalker as the follow-up. Cancels the shield battery. I like that. He identifies what this is.
Yeah, you cannot have that finish at this point. Just a wasted investment as he realizes that.
Ooh, Zoun going for the counter proxy.
The proxy Reaper. It's not going to
be a pylon on the top side, probe as well.
The factory on the other side of the map as well, so needs to try and cut his losses where he can. Won't really be able to get these Reapers though, and he's going to be forced to make that battery a little bit more forward, so that way he can eventually kill off this bunker. This is a great position so far.
Oh, we got a hidden base, Gemini.
Dude, this series, at the gold. What the heck is this series, man? Just absolutely off the walls.
What a gamer move. I mean, that is a risk and a half, but the reward is absolutely massive. If it goes unscouted, you are going to be rich beyond your wildest imagination. You can even recall some probes over there from the main. You don't have to waste the travel time distance. And yeah, it looks like Zoun's finally going to try and start to chip away at this bunker using the shield battery, as you mentioned.
It's really risky, but it is a really smart decision considering how delayed Zoun's natural is. Typically, he'd be falling further behind, and Cure can just build up. Now, what is scary is that Cure is getting a fast tank. It looks like Cure might actually reinforce and commit into a more aggressive timing. If so, he might just kill Zoun.
Will eventually lose the bunker, of course. Might try to go for the Stalker. It's a bit risky. Yeah, the Reapers are in threat of dying. Nice nades to be able to keep those away. But now Cure needs to find this base. If he doesn't actually locate the fact that Zoun is going for this proxied Nexus,
especially because this is not a standard ladder map, it's possible that Cure doesn't even check the gold. He does check one, but he doesn't check the other.
I thought he was just going to make a beeline straight for it, and the game was going to be, turned on his head suddenly. But I mean, that's
he only checked the first gold. There's 2 gold bases.
If he takes it after your CC, I think you're okay. You still have these 3 Reapers running around being annoying. One Stalker, not actually enough to deal with these. We'll get into the red hit points, but survive.
Yeah, all right. So what does Zoun actually do at this point? He's going for a couple extra gateways. He's getting Blink. He's going to just try to play this out normally.
He's looking for ninja bases.
Scouting, or is he actually also going to take a hidden base? That would be crazy.
No way.
Does he realize that there's actually a gold base on this map? Because that would be the more likely spot to proxy if you were doing it. So would be great. Yeah, it looks like he is realizing that there's potentially a proxied Nexus somewhere. He's scouting around a lot, but he has not gone for the top right-hand side scout. So that's where he wants to be, of course, to get this information. So for now, it will elude him. Just still playing very safe, as you can see.
Check the rally.
Really, floated his CC
Show us the rally.
Waiting for the orbital to come online.
He will eventually scout. Eventually,
but it's going to take a long time before he actually gets the scout.
Yeah, it's almost going to be the last base he will scout on the map. I feel like maybe you could put a Reaper to work. It's a very fast unit, and there's not much you can get done at this point with them. He will see a pylon here. That's a sign that something is amiss. And then the SCV will eventually find the Nexus in the top right. He does see there's a third as well.
Ooh, gets into the main.
Finding their way into
nice
the main
moves.
Base, so there's nothing here. The Stalkers were sent across the map, so
3,
a couple probes
almost up to
will
4
get
probes.
Killed off. 3 Reapers will kill them very quickly, and the single Stalker and Sentry will take quite a while as well. So 6 probes getting killed off. Nice blink over to the side, trying to get them, and we'll try to block them off. Oh, with the force field and the probes. That's very nice.
That's still 6 probes though.
One.
That's well worth it.
The blink down. No, nice.
And he sees. He finds the ninja base.
But 6 probes dying is not really what you want. The fact that he does have the gold base
Cure is aware.
should be able to alleviate
and
that.
he's got 4 tanks.
Yeah,
oh my
now
god.
Has the information that Nexus is in.
Cure has a massive army. Stim is almost done.
Try and defend it if Cure pushes it, or will he just recall the probes? Never mind that. Stalkers come in. They do pick off 1 tank there. Back up now as the rest of them siege.
He didn't kill it.
And only just now, after 6 minutes, is the Terran natural landing.
Yes, very delayed, because of course Cure wasn't really sure what was going on. He had gone for the factory in base as well after the proxy, and the 3 Reapers is pretty committed as well. Losing some Stalkers at the front is not great either. It's going to be a very fast Templar response coming out of Zoun, so he's going to try to get either a bunch of those Archons out again, or he's trying to rush out Storm as quickly as possible. He's not gone for the gases at any of his expansions yet, so it's going to be a little hard to fund this for now, as of course he's only got a couple hundred gas in the bank. It's likely going to be thrown down onto the Storm. But then he doesn't really have anything for the Templar, so honestly, I feel
are we just gonna have a base trade?
Right now
The Observer doesn't see the move out. Yeah, Observer's out of position. The boys are being pulled. Curie commits into the 2-base all in.
He's just got to make. He's going to go
smart move. This will hit pre-Storm.
He would cancel that and make Archons potentially.
And no scout. It's a late realization.
Totally missed this move out. Look at him stall.
Yeah, he missed it.
Just misses the Terran army.
Oh, he's gonna just.
He's missing you today.
He comes across and goes through these units.
Oh
like,
no!
How did I miss this move out? The SCVs are here as well, like you mentioned. He's going to be forced to evacuate this natural.
He just going to the main. Keep going.
This will get killed off.
Send it in,
into his main base. So thankfully, again, he does have
Scan the ramp.
He's still got a lot of income coming from that.
My god!
Ooh, Stalker's just running into the main middle of the army. Thankfully, the tanks were not sieged just yet. But now all this production is also unpowered.
Ooh, the Artosis pylon.
Again, unbelievable. Can't believe we managed to fly him out for the season as well. But yeah, we'll be able to kill off a lot of these gateways. No
He's got
production
5
there,
tanks.
And it's going to supply blocks down.
He does have Storm finally.
Back.
If he's able to get one of those off, that could be something that changes the game. These Stalkers going to try and pick off reinforcements, but they're actually outgunned here, and we'll lose one of them. They're going to run away, and once again, Zoun
a Storm might finish up for the fights. He's only going to have one.
Where he has to come from 2 sides. To
Never
try and
like to be in that Terran sandwich. It's really
actually,
brutal.
no, the Terran's the one in the sandwich, but
true, yeah.
He's also the one winning somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, this is looking really rough. I mean, there's bonkers being made on the high ground of Zoun's own main base. The
7 tanks.
Can't even get killed off. Look at how many tanks are on this low
7.
ground. It's ridiculous. There's so many of them.
That's crazy.
Dying slowly from Zoun. He's just trying to get any units that he can. The Nexus dying as well. He's just kind of hoping that this gold base will somehow carry him to some sort of victory. He's got a couple of Storms ready to throw down onto the Marines, but can't even find any because I feel like there's more tanks than Marines at this point.
Okay, there's a first Storm.
So Zoun's last game in the tournament. Potentially, he doesn't want to just give up too easy.
Storm is revealed.
Last stand here.
Locking himself with his bunkers.
Tanks get in as the other one is siege. Okay, we'll salvage that. The Stalkers
try back at home. Curie's final one base.
Cure calmly lifts the CC there, pushes
we keep it in. Nice Storm of the tanks.
The Storms go down and they're big, but there's so much Terran here remaining.
Very nice Storm. 3 tanks go down.
Have enough here to hold on.
Yeah, that was just absolutely wonderful for Cure. The big recall over to the gold base with all those probes will be decent, I guess, but I mean, this army that you're looking at right now is basically all Zoun's got. It's just a couple of Zealots and a Stalker, and a single High Templar has found its way somewhere on the map. There it is. We'll be able to eventually throw down a Storm if it doesn't get annihilated by a bunch of tank shots first. So
wait a minute. Is there a world Zoun can do something in this game?
No.
No way, right?
Don't even...
If he can catch the tanks.
Army, yeah, I get it. Still
if Zoun can catch the tanks, then yes. But he needs to catch him. He needs to catch him on siege.
There's just too much here for Terran. Look at the army supplies, 20 supply ahead. He will catch this one army on siege, though, if he decides
can he get all 3
to
tanks?
Now, but I'm not even sure if he has enough.
He goes for it.
Storm is really big.
Massive Storm.
So
cleans everything up.
Clear all this up. The tanks will die as well. So yeah, like you said, that is nice, actually. So that's going to give a
big win
for Zoun to kind of breathe a
Cure plummets in supply.
Air and realize that
Cure's in trouble.
Can actually come back in this game a little bit with this gold base. And actually, let's take a look. I mean, Cure's only on 23 SCVs. He's got 2 CCs, so the mules, of course, will be very good.
Gemini was so fast to, like, for some reason, push against it, but no, yeah, like...
I'm curious, what is the income right now? Because we have a gold base versus...
Zoun had a very efficient fight.
1.5 bases for the Terran.
He's going to take the second gold.
He's going to take the next gold.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
2 gold bases for the Protoss.
Another. This is getting a bit wild
here. Hold up. Wait a second. Yeah, wait. Okay. There might actually be something to go here. I don't want you...
Don't no, not this. Not like this.
Do not do this. Bad boy. Go back. Go. Stop. Get out of this natural. Never attack into a natural of a Terran player. You don't need to go into a 2-base Terran. He's got the second gold base coming up. That's his chance here, I think, because Cure, since he did suicide a lot of those SCVs, he did lose a lot of those tanks. There is this moment that Cure does need to recoup. He actually does need to kind of sit.
But yeah, there were 2 key moments. One was the one that we just saw, where the 3 tanks got caught on siege. But before that, when Cure pushed into the main base when he got stormed, he lost what was that 3 or 4 tanks as well. Like Cure, he had some 2 really rough fights that shouldn't have happened. Especially the first one, when he pushed, where he kind of bunched up his entire army, stacked up his army, and got stormed.
Just now remaking his Twilight. You know, he'll have to go for the Templar Archives again afterwards if he wants to go into more storms.
So this is a game.
Gonna catch the probe here potentially. No, just okay. Does see it. So we'll prevent any more expansions here. And I think once Cure finds out about this base, he's gonna full send it at some point.
Yeah, I feel like
6
you do have
probes,
to start to walk
7
across the map once these 2 ghosts come out. I think this is going to be very difficult for Zoun now because, of course, like you said, he does still need to get that Templar Archives going. He needs to wait for more Templar to get energy. So, yeah, this is still going to be an uphill struggle for Zoun. If he can get another miracle engagement, maybe this actually works out. But, yeah, now that the ghosts are coming out, now that we're going to have some medevacs as well, this is looking definitely better and better for Cure.
Yeah, the ghosts are such an insane power spike. You can nullify all the High Templar, do tons of... He's just going to take one down there.
It's take wherever you want. It's a big map. It is pretty huge.
This game. One Zealot chasing the Marine there. And I think once Concussive finishes, he's got a good ghost count. Cure's going to have a very strong push here. And it's actually not far at all to get to that gold base.
Yeah,
we just pull the boys.
Close, so you don't actually have to walk too far. This is so many ghosts. This is
okay,
so
he's
hard.
expanding.
I can't even imagine. Oh, he's actually floating the main down. Okay, that's actually nice. So he will just continue to make sure that he doesn't just die from any sort of all-in. I thought those SCVs were actually going for another attack, but no, they're just transferring over to this third base. Cloak actually...
He's hunting for EMPs.
So Cure realizing that there's no chance in hell that
these EMPs.
Oh my God! Why would you have a
hunting.
Robo? Why would you have a Robo? Why would you have observers?
He finds the Templar.
Just hunting the Templar, or just hunting the probes, because 2 ghosts do 1 shot.
Okay.
So you can just walk over and just kill their economy for free, because you literally will not be able to scout this. You can't see the units.
It's the Terran DTs.
Yeah.
2 of them run in and make the whole mineral line evacuate. I thought he was just going to blanket EMP the army or something, but obviously he wasn't pushing at that time. Here comes Zoun, though. The Zealots do march in.
There's a lot of storms. One tank is going to go down.
Together, and the High Templar at the back gets shelled. EMP.
Gets 1 tank. EMP zones. GG.
And Cure will take game number 3. Game number 4, excuse me. And what a wild game it was.
Yeah, that is definitely a series you will not be seeing again anytime soon. That was just full of everything. Proxy bases, proxy all-ins, just absolutely everything. So.
GG well played. Hyper-aggressive series here from both players. Cure with a lot of cheese, a lot of proxy. Likewise, Zoun being cheeky with his responses. I'm still thinking about the game on Throne of Dunes when we saw the attempted surround and we just barely did blunder the assault. So some really rough early game out of Zoun did allow for Cure to get a massive lead early on and did claim it 3-1. When it came to this game as well, again, it was a cheeky response from Zoun to go for the ninja base, but Cure scouted, and after he saw the ninja base, he just went for the 2-base all-in. Went for the 2-base all-in, pulled the boys. We did see that Cure did make some mistakes when it came to the all-in. He did clump up his army, and that did allow Zoun to have some really strong storms and have a bit of a cleaner defense. I say cleaner, he still lost the main, but he was able to trade with the tanks and clean up the army eventually, and had a more back and forth, of course, against Cure. For at least a time, until, of course, Cure got his ghost up and running, and GG. GG well played. With that, the first series is now done. Cure does advance on. Zoun is knocked out of the tournament. So Zoun is out, Cure is in, and now we have 1 series left. It's going to be a best of 5 between herO and Rogue. It's going to be a PvZ after the break. Protoss versus Zerg, herO versus Rogue. We'll see you soon. See you soon after the break. See you soon.
Yes, and we also have a wonderful raffle for anyone that is on the Patreon. We've had this awesome...
welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the RSL, the Revival StarCraft League Season 4 Playoffs Day number 3. We're halfway through the broadcast. We just wrapped up with herO versus Zoun. It was a very short, very aggressive series, with herO taking down Zoun 3-1. And now we have one series left. It's going to be best of 5 between herO and Rogue, a PvZ. Again, a little bit surprising to see herO down here in the lower bracket. herO has been looking like a beast as of late. He's been looking unstoppable, but he is here fighting for his life alongside Rogue. Rogue has had a bit of a resurgence. I say a bit just because Rogue, he still has a very unique style. I would say right now he relies a lot on strategy. He relies a lot on strategy. He relies a lot on builds, a little bit less on micro, and then of course on kind of unit control. And Rogue has had some success as a result. He has been able. He recently took down Clem, I want to say, in the weeklies. And he has had a couple of moments of brilliance, of course. So it's been cool. It's been cool to see Rogue have a bit of a spike up here. But he is up against the best Protoss player in the world, straight up. Like herO, he is the best Protoss in the world right now, and it's not easy for anyone to go up against him. So best of luck to Rogue. I hope we get a series out of it. Personally, I think it's gonna be a little bit more one-sided. Like, I lean heavily towards herO here, but I want to see a back and forth. I want to see a series. Let's go. Let's get into game number 1.
Is basically the best Protoss in the world, perhaps. You know, he's definitely up there, has an argument to be made right now, and Classic's out, so this is probably one of the hardest Protoss matchups you can get as a Zerg.
Yep.
But I think Rogue might be up for the challenge. I think we'll have some good games. His series versus Trigger was very competitive and close. We'll have to see how things unfold as we load into our first map, Missing You Today.
Yeah, this is good.
And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. For Team Falcons, it is Rogue. In the top left, we do have herO for T1. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as predictions are currently open for this best of 5. Remember, the predictions for the series, not just for the game. Best of luck.
He doesn't just follow what everyone else is doing.
True.
He'll come up with his own style, with his own timings, with his own unit comps, that kind of thing. We've seen him go for a lot of aggressive builds recently against Protoss. We saw a Roach Ravager all in against Trigger. We saw a Ling Bane attack in his former series. I forgot who he was against, but he's definitely not afraid to mix it up with going for these timings and then also just trying to play late game lurkers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, touching on what Surgeon mentioned, again, just echoing that, what we mentioned earlier, is that Rogue, he is heavily reliant on his builds, on his strategies, and he's very fond of all-ins, very fond of all-ins. The scary thing about herO is that, unlike Trigger, herO is a very aggressive player as well. herO is very active in the mid-game, and it can be quite difficult to out-aggress herO in ZVP. Can be difficult.
Slow tech into air later on and get carriers, they just sort of end up with this unstoppable death ball. And, you know, a lot of times when you see an issue like that arise in a matchup, the answer sometimes is, well, you don't let him get that far. You have to treat it, and there's a lot of matchups in StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 1 as well, where it's like one side is going to get too big to fail here if you don't do something about this, right? And so the idea is, yeah, how do you get in there? How do you end the game quicker? Is there some kind of a timing attack? Is there, you know, some moment when they've just ballooned out enough on the map that you can like send a Nidus in there and then drop somewhere else and then, you know, have 2 different attacks at the 2 bases on the front? Stuff like that might be what Rogue goes for.
Yeah, that's kind of what he did against MaxPax when he went for air in the late game. He went for that Ultra Corruptor army, and then he ran those Ultras all around the map, made it very difficult to catch them, and actually won the base race.
True.
In this game, we see herO is going for the Stargate. He's got his wall not at the natural. He's made his initial buildings at the top of the ramp there. This Zergling going to try and do a full scout, check there's nothing crazy going on, no pylons in the corner of the map or anything like that. As he goes ahead and gets his third base, and we see it's going to be a Void Ray first hit.
Yeah, Void Ray is very passive. You usually use this to clear out the Overlords, and then basically it kills off anything that could have attacked the expansion. I mean, it's not great versus Lings, but it's enough, especially if you have like 2 Adepts like we oftentimes see kind of parked in between the pylon and the Nexus at the third base. So I don't think a whole lot's going to happen early on in this game. It looks like both sides are basically...
So pushing back against what Takes has just said, Void Ray openers are usually designed to hide tech, to hide builds, and to potentially go into some crazy stuff. We can go into early Adepts, we can go into early Fleet Beacon, early second Stargates, we can go for anything hidden behind this, and it'll be more difficult for Rogue to scout. So I would not call a Void Ray opener a passive opener. I would call it a very cheeky opener just because you're denying any kind of scouting and any way to scout from your opponent. You're stripping that away. So it can be a very awkward start from the Zerg player as a result and an awkward mid game. It could still lead into a standard game, by the way. It doesn't have to be a cheese, doesn't have to be some wild tech. It could be just a standard build, but herO doesn't know that. And we can see early Twilight Council. That is earlier than normal. No forge, or late forge.
One of the challenges that you have from the Zerg's perspective here is you really, well, I guess it's different here with this lane getting here, but
Lane gets in, true.
Besides that,
did he see the Twilight Council?
Going on,
did he see?
right? I mean, I've seen games
Map
where
was
they get
checking?
one Stargate and then they even get a second Stargate and tech like
Where's the council, by the way?
All the corners,
Where's the council at the wall?
skip the rest of the alphabet and get to Z
looking.
right away. Or you can go for like a gateway time.
And I believe the Overlord is still at the natural, by the way. It's still there.
Just tech up slowly. So
anyway, we're expecting Glaives. We're expecting Glaives. It could be Blink. We have 4 gates. Yep, there we go into really fast Blink.
The Overlord at the natural. So that one sees the
that's
Twilight.
crazy.
I can't believe he didn't clear this on the way out of his base.
I'm
They're not
glad you
noticing.
pointed that out, Sturgeon. I just assumed that all the Overlords are dead because he killed off one of them that was like further out.
Yeah.
That's
So
insane.
he sees the Twilight, he sees us upgrading, he sees the timing on the
Okay,
gateways.
so everything I said was wrong because, like, yeah, you look at this, you go, oh, it's Blink.
That should be the case,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be that he doesn't know what's happening here. The Oracles are going to come in here. They zap down 3 drones and get out.
Nice little pick off there.
Hey,
Finally
now
comes back, does take care of this.
Now, herO, upon finding this Overlord, now he knows he's been scouted, and he's going for a late forge, late +1. herO, he should not be going for an all-in here. He's going for aggression. He can apply pressure, but he shouldn't be able to break his opponents.
Recently, followed up by the slightly later layer.
More gateways.
And
Interesting.
herO has a forge finishing up right now. I love these gateways at the top of the ramps here.
I think he's getting up to 7 gateways. Jesus.
That's going to be a full wall there.
It's a lot of
It's going to be
gates.
difficult to do any run-bys with Zerglings from that direction.
Yeah. So he's just staying out here. He's basically monitoring the Zerg.
So with the heavy gateway count, my assumption is that we're going to be skipping gases at the 3rd, and we're going for a big 3-base all-in. That is my assumption here, like an 8-gate 3-base all-in. We'll keep an eye on the gases. Gases indicate further tech. They would indicate Storm or Colossus. Like they would indicate like a further game with more splash damage and a 4th expansion. But without those gases, it's indicative of more gateway heavy all-in.
Right now, he hasn't taken his gases yet at the 3rd base, which indicates he's
Surgeon's-
not teching up just
He's pointing
yet.
it out.
Going to go into the charge,
now he
no
does.
Storm on the ring, anything like that. Okay, now we do see the 5th
Yeah.
and 6th gas, so he'll have enough to tech further along. And he's going to pressure with these Oracles and the Stalkers here.
Sturgeon, he was listening to the stream, but now that we have the gases, that is indicative of Storm, that's indicative of the next step, and that means that herO is building up into a longer game.
At 3 o'clock, but it's actually kind of hard to get over there and hit that. The way this
Now that we start talking about a longer game state here, this is where Missing You Today comes into play. This is a very large map. It's a very large map. It is easy to defend on your initial 5 bases. It's very turtle heavy, and there are goal bases as well. So whoever has map control can claim those goal bases.
Oracles melt everything.
As there are 2 golds.
Infestation pit coming here.
Yeah, and just 18 drones on the production tab for Rogue. He's feeling safe right now. He says, okay, the Stalker pressure is not coming or is over. I'm going to drone up a lot. Here, the Protoss army is moving out once again, and that 3 o'clock base is actually Rogue's 5th.
Can you take a 5th?
So if it falls,
Can he bring
it's
it
not
down?
the end of the world. You just want 4 bases at the moment at least to support this economy that you have, and only now is the Protoss
Nice
taking their
stasis.
base, and here
He
comes the
gets it.
Lings.
Oh
Big
my
stasis
God.
wards, but there's still so many Lings
Yeah,
remaining
takes out the expansion,
here.
recalls back
herO will be
home,
forced
doesn't
to
lose a
recall
single
out of there,
Stalker.
but He does get the hatch.
Doesn't even lose a unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was perfect. This is so bad for him.
0 units lost.
And this is as the 4th base is going to be finishing up here for herO. So herO's going to come out again. And this time he's got a little bit more.
Hyper-efficiency.
And I mean, I don't see any reason to not just move out and try to.
And remember, behind this, now he's got the Temple Archives, now he can morph in Archons.
You can over time.
Here they come,
We have
2
no
Archons.
Hydralisks out for Rogue or anything at the moment.
And now it's going to be in here to rotate to the south side and just keep rotating, threading these bases. We can see that Rogue is trying to take up in the Hive, trying to.
Only melee units against the Protoss army can be difficult for a while, and you've got to get some big Baneling connections if you want to be able to fend off these massive pushes here. Especially with Archons in the mix. They're so good against all these Lings and Banes.
Okay, he's going to come push here again, and he's going to be able to deny this. In fact, this may just be
Yeah, as I mentioned, Rogue is just going pure Link Bane into Ultra. It's very difficult to pull this off. Very difficult.
He does blink away. The Banes
The
are
surround.
from every single angle, but honestly, right now, I mean, a lot of the Archons are kind of tanking this.
Yeah, the Archons shut
The
this
last
down.
thing you want to have your Banelings spent on is Archons.
Look at the Archons tank.
And, I mean,
Oh, one Archon
I
gets
think
surrounded.
He's okay.
No,
Yeah, it looks like he is
And
surviving
his hatch is
there.
going to finish.
Rogue is not okay.
That's crazy.
Hatchery goes
I don't know
down.
why I sounded like that when I said that. I know I turned into like an old witch. I was like, I like to be destroyed. Sorry, man. So
Sky toss on the horizon.
I mean, herO's basically got this wrecking ball army that's going around the map. He's taking out base after base. It's going to be Zerg on 4 bases again, although I guess as I say that, the bottom center base over here, a little bit to the left, that one, just finishes up.
I mean, hero's headed for it. He's rotating.
The big issue in that fight was he didn't have Balin speed. We just see it finishing up now, so the Balins waddled in, but weren't able to get their connections. It was some of that fight was on creep. If you have the Balin speed, you maybe get some good hits in there, but not going to be the case. herO now pushing the issue, picking off even more units as he's becoming
that is a brutal
choke
point.
Out. Adreno on the way for Rogue, so his upgrades are good at least.
And again, Rogue is working towards Ultras. I believe Rogue should lose this expansion, though, again.
Yeah, he's going to come down here again.
We'll see.
Semi
has Baning speed.
And blinking away. You know, the Banes can't quite get their targets over here. I don't know how much longer Rogue can be in this game if this attack kills his hatchery.
Yeah,
because there's nothing else that Protoss has to do but just kind of go between these.
Building Rabbi, though. He gets in. The walls of the wall. There's multiple holes.
Take it out and then go back out again.
Oh, hold that thought, Tasers. Lings actually get in.
Forcing a recall.
Of the army recalled. Will
the burrow as well.
Available. He's going to target
denying +3
to deny the upgrade. There are stalkers here to try and fight back. Will he be able to get it? Looks like he will. So that upgrade, level 3 ground weapons denied. These units unburrow here. The natural as
oh
well.
My God, so many probes.
Suddenly. And that's actually bought him a lot of time to get his ultras online. We see 3 almost done.
Yeah, nice round buys. Well. Rogue pulling herO apart.
Shredded by these cracklings.
herO commits, but the ultras are coming. Rogue can do this.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is herO never turned around. He's just kind of been
he can do it
the whole time. I mean, there's a lot of damage being dealt over here, and I don't know that Protoss. Oh God, that's a lot of damage there.
He blinks into Lings.
Screw this game up. I
Rogue
think he might have.
Yeah, Rogue, now that he has his power spike with these ultras, is taking some kind of face-on fights here. Going to start to shred some of these Protoss units. The Archons, there's still a lot of them remaining. There's still
nice
a void
juggling.
ray, but here comes some more Lings to help clean
miscontrol.
this up finally. And a Spore Crawler, nice touch
there. And here is dead.
Here
is dead. The Ling Rumba, purely from Ling Rumbas. Like, Rogue is winning this game. herO, he was out playing, he was out producing, he was doing more damage, but herO has he's just lost 2 mineral lines.
A lot of times you don't even know that they've, you know, if you wipe
the non-stop Ling Rumbas.
So fast. This base up here at 12 is going
to herO has nothing.
And somehow Rogue is in control of this game. I thought it was looking really bad for him in the mid game. I thought he wouldn't survive until the ultras. Look at those burrowed ultras.
He's just underground like, ah!
It hurts! the overmind is cruel, but these Lings are just running wild, shredding everything. They're still there, burrowed. That looks so funny. Or just the one now, but everything dying to these Lings. herO down to 26 workers.
Yeah, herO's going to lose this hatchery too. You know, I got to say, when Rogue plays, it's like it's its own race. You know, he did a really good job with this. I think the herO might just be losing the game now. I don't know that he can recover from this. He has 23 workers, and you have to imagine Rogue has made enough of whatever he needs in order to fight.
Rogue has an economy, so he's rebuilding 5 ultras. He has plenty of ultras. Rogue has plenty back at home. The counterattack from herO just is not strong enough.
I know.
Doesn't have enough
What's
back.
funny is the idea that thing would burrow and then you would be
the
like,
numbers aren't there.
Size of a building, it's just like, oh my God, it's gone. They disappeared. Like,
there's so many ultras here at the 4th base for Rogue. Will be able to clear up all these Protoss units. herO just hanging on, but he does not have much left. Will be forced out of this game momentarily. Just has a war prison and a dream, basically.
Yeah. No, I
there
think
it
cooked,
is.
Man.
GG.
Looks like Rogue takes game number 1.
The cam reactions.
The Zerg hope alive.
Keeping the dream alive.
Right.
For the Cabal.
That's right.
But yeah, what a game. That was that was insane.
GG, well played. Again, herO's playing the early to mid game very, very nicely. He was knocking down bases, knocking down expansions. He was crippling Rogue economically as well, as Rogue was almost dead pre-Ultra. But what did it come down to? It came down to the Ling Rumbai. The Ling Rumbai's Ling counterattacks. He got a massive Ling Rumbai into the main base, into the natural, and he forced a recall out of herO. And we also saw a big Ling counterattack right after that towards the 3rd base. herO, he lost 2 mineral lines worth of probes, and he lost the expansion as well, so he could not sustain himself economically, he could not build up his army, and it was just pulled apart. This is where the size of the map came into play. Missing You Today is a very large map in the map pool, and herO did not take it seriously enough. The counter-attack and run-bys didn't take it seriously enough. He wanted to be aggressive, he wanted to be active. That is herO's playstyle, of course. He wants to force defense out of his opponents, he wants to force them back home, but he wasn't quite able to. It was a big risk from rogue to go for the counter-attack, but we had a massive wall at the natural, because it wasn't just one, there were two holes. There were two holes in that wall. It was not a wall at all. The wall was not a wall, Pappy. GG.
Rogue droned up really hard after the initial Stalker pressure. He went up to straight to about 88 drones, I think it was, which is a big economy. Like, and you make your 4th and your 5th base as the Zerg, and if the Protoss kills one, you're still a 4-base Zerg.
Right.
So you still have good economy, enough mineral lines to support 88 drones, and the Protoss doesn't have their 4th base up yet. So just getting the 5th doesn't feel like quite enough damage in that situation, but yeah, very, very cool game number 1. We do move on to Celestial Enclave here for game 2.
I'd push back against that in the sense that, like, herO did a great job doing damage. It was more so just about the counterattacks and run-bys, right? So the counterattacks and run-bys, the critical damage that was dealt. Sure, like, Rogue was losing bases, but he was killing mineral lines. He was killing so many
He was
probes.
supposed to win that game. It's pretty wild to see a game where, like, someone's consistently winning for, like, 75% of it, and then in under a minute, the other players completely turned the game upside down.
Yeah, like you said, it was the counterattacks, I think. We had the classic herO wall at the top of the main instead of the natural. Not doing that this game. Does have his pylon, sorry,
Have some confidence, Pappy. Have some confidence.
Send this probe in to get a scout, check what Rogue is up to.
Are these new maps? No.
Hatchery before gas, something crazy like that.
It depends what your definition is. The last game that we casted was on Missing You Today. That was in the previous TLMC, so that was last year. So if you weren't watching the TLMC tournaments, that was being held there, of course, and that was voted in. Same with what's the other map as well? There's a couple of them. There's a couple of like older maps that are in this tournament, and they also have Necropolis, which is a newer map for sure.
But you know, he has to make the adjustments of not letting the counterattacks completely rug pull him out of the game entirely.
Yeah, I think with the Burrow,
See, Kansansky, here is a massive favorite against Rogue. He's, I don't know if I'd say massive, but he is a favorite player against Rogue.
So quickly. But
Rogue is fighting back.
We do see herO's taking his natural. Neither player opting for the.
If you're curious why there are some different maps in this tournament map pool, is specifically for RSL, they have voting for their patrons. So on Patreon, if you are a certain tier of patron, you can vote on maps, and they remove 3 maps from the standard map pool, and they add 3 voted in maps. So basically, they were chosen by the patrons. I think they replaced. I think they replaced like Tourmaline and like Winter Madness. There are 3 maps that they got rid of for this tournament, but it's just for this specific tournament specifically. They got rid of 3 and they added 3.
But yeah, but it's going to be a little bit of a slow start here, you know.
Yeah, we see this pro running around trying to avoid these lings. And this game here is actually moving out with the Adepts. I like this. He was quite passive last game, I thought. Only send the Void Ray across, not the Adepts. He even gets a block at the 3rd base of Rogue. This is nice. He's going to delay the 3rd base. Oh, no, he's actually going to take it at the pocket base. Okay.
Yeah, forces the pocket.
That's interesting because that's not a full... There's only 1 gas there. It's not going to give him the full eco that you would get from a base outside your main.
Okay, so he's just continuing to scout with that Adept, make sure everything is par for the course so far here. We do have that Oracle coming out, so it's going to be a little bit of a deviation from the style that we saw earlier. But again, you could still end up with, you know, the same Stalker Oracle pushes here, just no Void Ray coming out right away.
Yeah, Stalker as well is going to be coming out, and with the Oracle, we'll be able to shoo away this Overlord at the natural. The Adepts don't commit to the Shade, so he doesn't know about this pocket base just yet. I imagine an Oracle will go over there at some point just to get the confirmation that he has made that hatchery and it's not an insane 2-base play. Although saying that, we have quite a fast layer on the way for Rogue, getting it at 345, so definitely the potential for some tricky stuff here.
He's going to go for that Fleet Beacon. Oh, it's so dirty. Wow. Okay, so we were talking about this in the last cast.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you'll just see them get a second Stargate, and here it is.
Yeah, indeed. And Rogue sees there's no 3rd base yet. I'm not sure if he can if he has a way to scout the pocket base.
Yeah, we're going for the second star again, the flea beacon. If you remember, we spoke about this last game about the potential after a Void Ray opener that you can do this. And on Celestial, the reason why this build is more viable is because of how defensive you are, or how defensive the bases are here on Celestial Enclave.
Right.
He kind of has the tools.
Specifically, two features here are the High Ground Natural and the Pocket Third.
Wow.
Well, with the upgrade as well.
Yeah.
It does extra damage to buildings. I forgot the name of it.
I was going to say, don't ask me.
Tectonic Destabilizers.
So bad. A long time ago in Artosis, we started to cast, we were like, don't ever ask me the name of an upgrade. We always have these weird...
I think the only upgrades that we don't know the names of are, I always say this, the medevac upgrade. I always look it up and I always forget, but the medevac speed upgrade, the healing upgrade, I think that's it. I think that's the only one we don't know.
What is the idea with this? Do you want to try to come from a side and like blow up that back base maybe? Like the little free one that Zerg gets over there, and then you can just recall it back home?
That is an option. You can also just sit in some airspace, picking off drones. And
ultra speed. I think ultra speed is like anabolic synthesis or something. Like, it's not like that.
Or you can double down. We do see he's got.
Oh, he sees.
These
Does he notice?
Under attack right now.
Does he notice the rocks being knocked down? Tempest is scouted.
Out of the first Tempest.
Rogue is rushing into Hydras.
Yeah, he's going to come over here with those.
Now, because herO isn't reacting, and if he didn't notice those rocks being knocked down, Rogue can all in. Rogue can all in directly into the natural with his Hydras.
That's the question, if they can get underneath them,
exactly.
Right? I mean, Tempest, there's a big vacant area here, right where the, well, we're not looking.
Like, again, it's not about getting into the Tempest, it's about counterattacking and forcing a defense back at home. Like, herO might just die here and now.
About going for the extractor. Did he A move that?
Rocks open.
Maybe.
They're opening up.
I'm not sure exactly.
herO didn't notice. He's not defending.
Yes.
The spores will go so down quick, down so quick.
Lings they flood in, as a little bit soon.
Ling somehow got in the main. I have no idea how that happened, but
what?
units come back.
I mean, the rocks got knocked down.
Oh my God, herO, you're gonna lose your Tempest. Be careful. Taking damage from spores over here.
Yeah, Hydras have arrived.
So
I do think that Rogue was a little bit too premature with the Lings. He was a little bit premature.
I don't care.
Like, Lings would do amazing here to defend the Hydras, to protect them.
That he's got. Okay, the
Stasis.
Hydras are going to trigger that, so that's going to get at least 2 frozen there.
But again, you can see just how vulnerable these Hydras are. Imagine this with like 16 Lings alongside them.
That are slow,
And now we have Lings trickling in, but
you can really appreciate how much
can he
damage
do
they
it?
do when you watch the
Can he
fight
kill?
actually go down. So he's going to recall that. But when he recalls that, the Hydras could just run underneath it and hit it, but they don't.
Yeah, the Tempests are hiding at the back of this.
I mean, there
base
weren't
here.
enough. I mean,
a lot of units starting to fall for the Zerg. He's only on 55 drones right now.
It's
Very committed to
close.
this
Can he
push,
get
and it
under the
looks like
Tempest?
herO
It's
might be
still
hanging on as long
close.
as he
They're
keeps
so
his Tempest
low.
alive. Two of them weak earlier from the Spore Crawlers. Actually forced to pull the probes as well. This is going to be a little bit dicey on both
Yeah, the
sides.
boys are being pulled. The probes are going to be going down. Hydras, they do try to get under the Tempest. Again, the Tempest are so low on HP. He gets one. Oh, he gets one. There's 3 left. There's 3 remaining. 2 remaining.
So a lot of
2
workers have been
Tempests.
picked off here, and there's more coming.
Again, Rogue, he's so close.
Yeah, indeed. More Zerg streaming across the
He
map.
kills all the pros. 15 pros go down. More Hydras going to be rallying in. Critical damage. 2 Tempests left.
It looks like herO might be doing it here. His Tempests are kind of the only thing keeping him in this game right now. I feel
Speaking
like.
of, one of the Tempests is exposed. No micro. Yeah, no micro. 1 Tempest goes down. There's 1 Tempest left.
Oh my God. Okay, so there's more
Only
links
he's
coming
done
up.
it. Yeah, Rogue has done it. He's going to take a massive, massive lead in this series.
30 probes have been killed off so far.
He's going to be on match point.
And there, more and more Zerg
Match point.
streaming into the main base of herO. He's out running out of
He's
juice on his
broken him.
last legs.
Deep
Probes
powers
from
the
the main
Twilight
pool.
Council.
One more Tempest comes back in.
Yeah,
but
Blink is going to be denied. The final Tempest goes down as well. 0 Tempest left. There's nothing remaining here. We got Vanilla Stalkers.
33 supply.
Only Vanilla
Yeah,
Stalkers.
nothing working, dude. Zerg's too strong. Blizzard, if you're listening, Zerg is too good. And I think we need to make both the Zergling and the Hydralisk a little bit weaker. It's the only
True.
this
solution.
game is proof.
Yeah. Listen, guys, when Rogue wins his whole tournament, I don't want any complaining. Incredible.
GG.
Rogue win, or not wins, well, he wins that game, but not the series.
Not
Not
yet.
easy being a caster. It's not easy getting 5 point out here.
GG. GG. Well played. Rogue's build is a hard counter, at least to whatever I try the Tempest meme. Not exactly. So winding it back, if you weren't watching the game, if you recall, a big reason why this all-in worked for Rogue, and also GG well played, is up 2-0. A big reason why it worked, if you recall, is because Rogue was knocking down those rocks. There were rocks outside of the natural on Celestial Enclave, and it took a while. It took like 3 minutes, like 2 minutes. Like, he was nibbling away at those rocks the entire early game. And herO, he saw it. Like, he did have units within range. His unit saw it, but herO didn't. Like, the player himself, herO, didn't notice that the rocks were being knocked down, and he saw it twice even. He saw it once with the Tempest, and I think he saw it with with a probe that had moved like in range as well. So he had potential. He had the potential to realize what was going on and to react and to defend those rocks. But again, he didn't, right? He didn't notice that the rocks got knocked down, so there was a massive opening, and we saw the all-in just rush on through. I do think that Rogue was a little bit too preemptive and too premature with his Lings. I think he would have been more successful, and it would have been a stronger push if he had held on a little bit, knocked down the rocks, and waited until the Hydras arrived. So he got a little bit too excited, and he came in too soon. But regardless, the all-in still barely did work out and did break the natural. If herO had been able to scout and realize what was going on and react to it, then we could have seen stronger defense if those rocks didn't get knocked down. But GG, well played. With that, Rogue is up 2-0.
Go there, like the video.
He's up 2-0.
Comment. That also, excuse me, that also helps us out as well.
Yeah, and you can get all your
Adaptive attack speed is called adaptive talents, right? Cab. Adaptive talent. It should be. Adaptive talents.
That's right. Guys, we're going to take a short
but we're going to be going in a break. We're going to be going in a break. Rogue is up 2-0 in the series, and he might claim the 3-0. He might claim it here and now. We'll see you soon after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the second half of this series. Welcome back to the RSL Revival Season 4 Playoffs Day 3 co-stream. We are mid-series with herO versus herO, and currently herO is up 2-0. herO is up 2-0, and he is one game away from claiming the series, and it would be a massive upset here. herO is the best Protoss in the world, but he is struggling in the RSL. He got knocked down earlier by MaxPax. Now he's up against the wall against herO, and the broadcast might just end. It might just end here and now. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Luis GGG. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And welcome here to our PVZ here. Welcome to 10,000 feet, actually. 10,000 feet is going to be the next map in the map pool. Again, the pressure is very much so on herO. Winding it back, game 1, herO had a really strong early and mid game. Here he was knocking down bases, knocking down expansions, he had map control, and then one Ling run by killed herO. The Lings, they got into the main, they got into the natural, they burrowed, they killed all these pros. We had the Ling reinforcements hit the third base, and herO fell apart to the Ling aggression while he was trying to be aggressive across the map, and he was punished for it. So we had that back and forth. Here in game 2, herO, he went for a Tempest rush, but he got all in as rocks were being knocked down at the natural, and herO's unit saw the rocks being knocked down, but he himself did not see it, did not notice, did not react, and as a result the all-in was successful. And now we're getting to game 3, potentially the final game of the series. Let's go.
You talking smack on meters
No,
again?
he was just wondering how many meters or something that was, and we said we needed you on the desk to do that, so.
Oh.
I think we already did that last time.
Did you figure it out?
No, I didn't.
I think it's
no
like...
reason to do that.
Is it like... Oh, okay, shall I not?
Well, you can do it.
I think it's like 3.3 or just under 3.3 feet to a meter. So if you have 100,000 feet...
10,000 feet.
Is it 10,000? Oh,
10,
yeah.
10,000
If you have 10,000 feet, it would be, what, 3,000?
Doing math on air, man. Jesus, that is...
3,000 meters!
Did we do it?
Someone in chat confirmed.
The other European guy just said no.
1 meter... Okay, whatever. 3,300, right? Because it's 3.3-ish.
And we're doing this on a 3-minute delay with chat as well, so
that's fine.
We're not going to know this.
Chat's got my back. Someone confirmed 3,300 meters. 3,048?
Nice, thank you, Ziggy, with the quick maths.
The thousands was close enough.
Nice. All right. So what was it? 3,000.
The cast is a memeing. Meanwhile, big shout to Kaczynski, baby. Thank you so much for the 25 gifted subs to the. Oh my God, so many gifted subs, baby. You're crazy. But thank you so much for all the gifted subs to the community. We appreciate the support. That's a lot of support, baby. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting, and the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy. Crazy support. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see any more Tempests here. herO's going to bring out his best tried and tested builds.
As we are settling into game 3.
But it's also herO, so you never know.
So far, it looks like a standard opener out of Rogue. Meanwhile, we have herO likewise going for his own Gates Hybrid Expand. Nothing crazy, nothing wild yet. We'll see how herO approaches the mid game. Because of how this series has been playing out, I think as they were kind of mentioning, we do assume that herO's going to play standard, but we're on 10,000 feet. All-ins are favored on this map, and because of how aggressive you can be on 10,000 feet, it would make sense for herO to be overly safe. We could be seeing an earlier Twilight Council into earlier Blink, into a delayed Forge. We could see a very similar build to game 1.
So random, and he would actually kill SCVs with it sometimes, building the CC and whatnot. So he loves absolutely going for that type of early stuff, and we'll keep that probe in that base for as long as humanly possible before he sends it on back home. So we'll keep it alive as nicely as that is, and we'll send those couple of adepts across the map as well to take its place, basically. Nope, never mind. The probe's gonna go back. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I guess he wants to confirm the third base location. He sees it's not at the front. That's already some information. We've seen some games where Rogue will take like a front base and then just all in.
Yeah, it's a very common strategy. What they're discussing is that if the Zerg player takes a forward expansion, that could be for a Roach all-in, a German taxi. Meanwhile, Stargate into Void Ray out of herO. As we mentioned, if you recall, there's a high chance we go for the same build that we went for in Game 1. In Game 1, it was a Void Ray opener into early Blink, if you recall, into late Forge.
Yeah, it's going to be used for scouting. Would be very surprised if he actually completes this. Just wants to see a look on the drone count, take a look on the Ling count and everything. Sees plenty of drones and a couple of them spawning from the natural as well. So rules out any sort of super fast Ling all-in or something like that, which we really never see anymore anyways. Protoss players are so good at scouting and defending that nowadays, especially with energy recharge. One Oracle can honestly defend that kind of stuff very, very easily. So won't be seeing any of that, but just always good to double check. Now gets that double adept into the main base as well. Might complete that, but just decides to cancel it for now, as he's going to bring this Void Ray along to kill off some Overlords and try to maybe use the adepts to kind of either keep the Queens away or actually make the Overlord, have the Void Ray bait them away, but looks like he's just going to continue to keep everything.
Can he get two?
alive.
No, not quite.
Yeah, that did supply block Rogue.
Now the third base has been thrown down. We're expecting early Twilight Council. There it is, early Council out of herO. Again, this is the same build so far from game one. Same build. That should be Blink. Should be, but we'll keep an eye on him. Technically, this could lead into early Glaives. Technically.
I know.
If
I do that so often.
to get the scout here. Skycraft units are hard, but he will get the scout here with this Overlord. It's going to go down. Will it see the Twilight before it does? It's close.
He won't.
Oh, he's got a second one.
He's got a
Second
second one.
Overlord.
He's got the Tasteless Overlord there to go along with it. So we'll be able to get the confirmation.
Nice. Yeah, there's a Twilight Council. We have the delayed Forge, so early Blink. Again, this is the same build.
To then have the second one on the right
So I guess to explain the build itself and why we assumed it would be the same build as game one is because of the early Blink. This means that if Rogue was going for an all-in, then Blink would be done in time to defend. It also allows herO to be aggressive early on. The downside of this build is that the Forge is later, +1 is delayed, so we have later upgrades, later +1, later +2, later tech, just because you're going to be warping in and committing a little bit harder into Blink Stalkers. But this does allow herO to be active on the map, to defend against an all-in or to be active as well, to apply pressure and to knock down the 5th expansion. Or to apply pressure to the 4th as well.
This could be for melee and lots of Zerglings. Is what I would imagine. Yeah, we do see the +1 melee go down.
Rogue going into +1 melee here usually means Ling Hydra, but in game one we saw Rogue go Ling Bane into Ultra Tech, so we might see a repeat. No, never mind. Just safety Roach Warren.
Very often, yet again, another little unique twist to the matchup from Rogue. You don't see these macro hatches being thrown down all the time, so he's going to be able to pump out plenty of units with this extra hatchery.
Says we don't see them all the time. I believe we did have a macro hatchery in the game one when you did go Ling Bane into Ultra. So this might be an indication of a heavy Ling army, which is why there's a macro hatchery.
Of this game where herO will be on the aggression with this Blink Stalker play. How much damage can he actually get done with this poke?
Yeah, and Rogue's all the way up to 73 drones. He's made quite a lot. Here come the Lings, the initial ones. There's no stasis trap here at the moment, so they will actually get a wraparound on these Stalkers. Some of them blink out. Here comes the next round.
He might get two. Oh my god.
A couple Stalkers will
wow, 3.
Yeah, it's actually really nice for Rogue. A great first engagement. Almost kills off that Oracle as well. With
3 Stalkers go down.
The creep, get some more of those,
and we can see we have now confirmation. It's not Ling Bane into Ultra, it's Ling Bane or Ling into Hydra.
But that's a good momentum stopper there for Rogue. Doesn't allow herO to snowball super heavily with the Stalkers just yet. Will try to now go for the big surround yet again, as some of those Stalkers are off cooldown. Will be able to get them and trap them.
Yeah, gets another 3.
Corner. Can they actually blink across?
4, 5. Oh my god, 6,
like
7.
The answer might be no, as a lot of these
this is too much. 7 Stalkers go down.
Yeah, might just have enough firepower anyway.
8,
more Stalkers
7.
Come over to help out their friends there. These Lings are going to run by, see what's being made here. Get a little
yeah, we're just screaming numbers.
We have a England nest behind this, as well as a 5th base.
But those are heavy losses for herO, and so far this aggression has not been worth it. herO falls behind.
Hydraling Bane for the moment. No further upgrades on.
Just heavy losses for herO. Hydras are amassing back at home for Rogue.
Coming out here shortly. Probably the melee. Yeah, there it is. There's the +2 melee. You're going to go predominantly Ling Bane here, and maybe try and crash through the Protoss at some point.
Yeah, I love that these Lings are continuing to shark around. We know that herO is someone that will always leave that door open, so if they could ever find a way into the natural, into the main base to get an extra deep scout, maybe kill a couple of workers, that would be great for Rogue. So always keeping those alive, trying to get as much information as possible. Finds the fourth base on the right-hand side, which is a bit of a unique spot as well, mining out those minerals on that ramp. So we'll use this as kind of an anchoring point to kind of continue to pressure the right side of the map is what herO is going for, as some Lings do get scouted on the left-hand side, but still a large amount of them
once again he gets caught.
Stalkers and joining up.
He just keeps getting caught out. Oh my god.
We'll be able to juke them for just a
herO,
moment,
he's stuck. He's going to lose everything. doing?
Surround on so many of those stalkers.
It's going to be a 3-0. Like, I'll be honest. Like, we're losing far too much. That's 24 stalkers going down this game.
Mass Ling here and a handful of Hydras at the back.
herO getting punished for being aggressive. He's being punished for being herO. He just keeps getting the pants. They just keep falling down.
Into the surround, basically. Very good control.
He can't get them up back. And now herO's being desperate. You know, when behind Fleet Beacon, when behind Skytoss. He's going to try to rush into Skytoss. herO is miles behind, and Rogue is here to end the game. He's here to end the game, just rally across the map to commit into the third, into the fourth. Rogue is maxed.
Fast Fleet Beacon coming in from herO as well. Likely going to be going into a very fast Mothership. Losing that Oracle is actually very annoying as well. Not having the Revelations constantly on the army is going to make it very difficult to know exactly.
But again, as you mentioned, one of the reasons why you can get away with this style is the macro hatchery. We spoke about what the macro hatchery means and what it emphasizes. It means that, you know, more lava, mass Ling Bane. And the Stalker aggression from herO has just been punished time and time again. Every time he moves out, he just loses Stalkers.
herO's got to be very careful about moving out on the map right now. Rogue just maxed out,
and Rogue is gearing up
to send this attack, so he needs to be defending here. We have a Tempest on the way.
He's getting Lingbane Hydra all in, and he's making Tempests, which is, I feel like, not exactly the greatest idea. I mean, sure, they're going to be good against Hydras eventually, once you can get a lot of them, and their range is really good, and they will just kind of one-shot them, but I don't know, man. I feel like you need to get just more ground. Like, we need Storm, we need Templar.
Storm, Colossus, splash damage. herO's thinking a little bit. I mean, I say that herO is behind. Like what Gemini is talking about is like how do you play against the style, not how do you recover against the style. Like trying to macro and play standard and go into splash damage and try to play out a standard game, it's not gonna work. Like it's like you got to take a risk. You got to take a chance, or at least that's the mentality that herO has.
To delay the attack, but finally it will come. He's hit on two sides right now.
Oh, another Banelings into the middle line.
Nothing hit to defend them except
herO pulls away.
Cannon. They will have to evacuate on the other side. We see Ling
Rogue collapses on the fourth. Lings they bust into the middle line. The Banelings. Oh my god.
To die. 24 workers, 27 already. Rogue getting some damage done here.
Yeah, that's some great economic damage, but did he really kill much of the army is the question. Of course, if herO can continue to sustain a lot of this army supply, he will be able to eventually do a massive counter blow as another wave of Banelings try to find their way into the probe lines, into these Zealots. We'll be able to take some pretty good connections as the rest of the Archons are also falling on the ground. herO is dipping.
Can Rogue take down the expansion?
Supply. The Mothership is here to try and save whatever it can, but this is getting really tough to defend by herO.
He gets it.
The fourth base goes down for herO. Rogue in a very commanding lead right now. Almost 40 more workers, more army supply, more bases. Even as the macro hatch still upgrading. And herO's making immortals right now. I mean, Rogue's done it basically. He just has to not overextend, do anything crazy.
Like Gemini's reaction. That was very apt.
And he should be able to do, you know, a lot of damage once more. I kind of feel like if the Archon count gets really high, they can trade well against the Ling Bane, but Rogue's just so ahead right now.
Yeah, I really question the decision to just go for such fast Tempest in this position. I feel like herO maybe didn't quite identify exactly what Rogue was going for. Maybe
I would disagree with what Gemini said. Like herO knew what Rogue was going for. Like once again, as we were mentioning, like technically, if you have a comparable economy, then going into splash damage makes sense. But as you were mentioning, like herO was behind. Like he was dead. Like he had to do something, and his hope was he could get away with the Skytoss rush because you have to go for a Hail Mary play. And herO's Hail Mary play was Skytoss. Like what Gemini's criticizing is like how to like correctly play against this style. And play like standard and macro against it, which is correct. Like the correct thing to do is get splash damage. But the understanding that I have here for herO is that he felt too far behind to try to play that way, and he wanted to try to get away with something cheeky like rushing into Tempest.
He went Hydra Ling Bane into Hive, and I'm kind of curious if herO watched that and thought, okay, maybe that's what he's doing this game, because normally you do what Rogue did this game with Hydra Ling Bane. You send it.
And obviously it didn't work. Like we have the knowledge of seeing everything, and we know how far ahead Rogue was, and he was going to be assaulting that fifth base. But it isn't the Tempest rush that killed herO this game. Like it's let's make sure we hammer that home. That's not what killed herO. herO was already dead. Like that was herO's attempt to recover, an attempt to bounce back.
We'll be able to deny this as a couple more also went into the main base yet again. So even though herO is just sitting here on these 3 bases, somehow Ling's still trying to find their way and will actually get into the main bases. And now Rogue is in a position where he can just kind of hunker down for a little bit as well, just kind of recoup, make sure he's got his next tech transition coming up. He's got his 2-2 on the way as well. He's got his Spire finish. He's got upgrades coming out for his Corruptor. He's got the Infestation pick coming for the Hive. So he's going to be able to transition much later if the game does drag on, but he still is going to be looking for an opportunity to end it if he can. To be fair, though, for herO, this army is actually looking pretty decent at this point. He's got a lot of
Rogue is stuck on Lingbane Hydra, so herO's army is much more efficient, for sure. Rogue should be working towards Lurkers to help, like, round his army out. Rogue is coming in.
Try to distract as the other army goes from the right, but will back off as this army from herO, like I was saying, is actually kind of threatening.
Yeah, it is.
I'm a little bit worried for Rogue letting herO get so high in supply.
So what the issue here for Rogue is that Rogue is stuck now. He's stuck with a very mid-game and mid-tier army. Rogue has to trade. Like, that is the purpose of this army. He has to trade soon. If he waits for herO to come to him, then herO won't give him time to remax. Whereas if Rogue engages first, then Rogue has time to rebuild. So Rogue, he has to be the aggressor here. He's coming in.
Huge surround getting thrown
nice
down
setup,
by
nice
Rogue.
flank.
The cloak on the mothership will try to help, but there's so
He's
many
getting
ogres here,
Archons.
so it doesn't really matter. Zealots trying to run away from the Baneling, so the Hydras will be
Zealots get
left
zoned
alone
away.
with the Immortals and Archons. Will be able to take some decent trades.
And herO will survive this. As you can see, he's forcing this back, but this is better for Rogue. We spoke about this. Rogue, he wanted to trade first, so he can now remax, and you can see he's remaxing in the production tab.
So herO, while he kind of took a decent trade for the most part in the beginning, he can't recoup this army in the way that Rogue can.
Yeah, and I think it was important that Rogue fought him on his side of the map, on herO's side of the map, so that he does have time
Sturgeon,
to
he's
remake
catching on.
the units with his larger economy. The Lings will find the Zealots, and with upgrades, Lings can deal with Zealots just fine. This Archon, a little bit out of position, will go down. And this is it, the last stand for this Protoss army. He gets caught in the middle of the
locks
map.
down the Immortals.
All the Lings and the Banes go
the
in.
Banelings.
Doesn't detonate the Banelings on the Immortals, of course. Just runs them around looking for Zealots.
Yeah, very
the
nice
temp is
control.
Full. Down go the Archons. And with
GG.
it, herO's chance in this game. Rogue takes it 3-0 over herO. What an insane set.
That's incredible from Rogue. I mean, coming out swinging that hard in very unique looking games.
GG, well played, congratulations Rogue. He will claim the series 3-0. He will knock herO out of the tournament. herO, he is out of RSL. Rogue popping off. Once again, as you mentioned, this was a very unique series. It was a very, very unique series here. Again, herO honestly had a really strong start in game 1. Like, game 1 was herO's game to lose, and herO did fumble the ball. Did fumble when it came to the defense. herO did mess up. He didn't take it seriously enough, and herO was punished for ignoring and for leaving himself vulnerable to said Ling Bane or Ling aggression and Ling run-bys and Ling counterattacks. Game 2 was a little bit different. Game 2 was also on herO, to be honest. Remember what happened. Rogue, he slowly knocked down the rocks on Celestial Enclave, slowly opened up the natural, and then went for the all-in. herO saw it. His units, I should say. His units saw the rocks being attacked, but herO didn't notice. So herO, he was just not attentive enough. He didn't notice what his units were telling him, and he was left with his pants down against the all-in. He was woefully underprepared against the all-in in game 2. Here in game 3, herO went for the same build he went for in game 1, went for a heavy Stalker aggression. He was active on the map. He saw the macro hatchery. It was a very Ling heavy style out of Rogue, and upon recognizing how Ling heavy it was, herO had to back off. He had to back off and be defensive. But herO's herO, and what happened, herO was still being hyper aggressive and very active with his Stalkers, and he got punished. He got punished time and time again. He lost 4 Stalkers, and then 7 Stalkers, and then like another 10 Stalkers as well. herO lost 24 Stalkers, trying to be active in the early to mid game. And that's when herO kind of lost the game then and there. That's when, if you remember, after he lost all those Stalkers, that's when herO made the decision to rush into Skytoss. As we were trying to emphasize, like, I disagree with the analysis of Gemini and Sturgeon, where they're like, oh, herO made a mistake, he didn't know what was happening, and he tried to rush into Skytoss against Lingbane Hydra, whereas I believe that herO, I mean, he knew what was happening, he knew it was Lingbane Hydra, but because he was behind, because he was so far behind, he went for a Hail Mary move to rush into Tempest, to rush into Skytoss, to try to recover and try to make up for his earlier losses, because playing standard from there would not be good enough. Like, playing standard after falling that far behind, you're just playing from behind. So you have to take a chance, whether it's like rushing into Sky Toss or going to like DT harass or War Prism harass or other kind of counterattacks, other ways to recover in that game. It doesn't have to be rushing into Sky Toss, but there are other ways to do so. herO's response there was to try to rush into Sky Toss. Hope that maybe Rogue was going to be more passive and hope to defend and get away with that transition. But GG. GG, well played. Whew. So again, a very specific kind of series here, very specific games, game 1, game 2, and game 3. Again, I would say that game 3 here, some overconfidence out of herO, not respecting what he had scouted when it came to being active with those Stalkers and losing all those Stalkers as well. But GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Rogue, as Rogue does claim the series, and Rogue, he will advance on into the next round. I didn't mention previously, if you recall, I said at the beginning of this series how Rogue currently, it feels like he's relying a lot on builds and strategy, less so on micro and APM and individual like unit control. And I feel like I'm almost validated here because that's what this series felt like. Like it was, again, Rogue making the correct decisions in the moment and going for the correct quote-unquote, or going for the quote-unquote correct builds or certain styles that was able to counter herO, and herO maybe not. herO was maybe a little bit too rigid and he wasn't really respecting and adapting to what Rogue was doing. For example, respecting the Ling counterattacks and Ling run-bys in game 1, reacting and scouting and confirming the all-in in game 2, and also in game 3, reacting to the mass Ling aggression and the macro hatcheries that Rogue was going for, and being more defensive as a reaction to that. herO didn't do any of those things, right? He was still being active, still being aggressive, and was punished for that in that third game. But GG. GG, well played. With that, Rogue will claim the series, and with that, we are now wrapping up for the broadcast. We're wrapping up here today. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, when it comes to the rest of when it comes to the rest of our schedule here tonight, we do have another broadcast in a couple of hours. In a couple of hours time, we're going to be live with the Platinum StarCraft League. We're going to be live with the Platinum StarCraft League. That's going to be at 2 a.m. my time in 3 hours. 3 hours time, we're going to be live with some more StarCraft. That is a relatively open cup. It is limited. It is restricted to players that haven't achieved too high results in big premier events. I say that, I think specifically it's Illegalac. I think the Illegalac top 16 are excluded from the Platinum StarCraft League. So players like herO, Bjorn, Classic, Serral, Raynor, Clem, Showtime, MaxPax, the best players in the world are excluded from competing. This next tournament is going to be for the mid-tier players, the up-and-coming players instead, to give them a chance and opportunity to compete amongst each other. That is going to be again in 3 hours time. So I do have 3 hours to get some food, get some snacks, rest up, and get ready for the next cast. Oh boy. So again, that's going to be in 3 hours time. It's less than 3,000 points. Yeah, that's like around top 16. That's like around top 16, or I should say below top 16 for Illegalac. So again, that is going to be later on tonight. Otherwise, we're going to be back tomorrow with some more RSL, with the RSL Playoffs Day 4. Tomorrow, I believe, should be the upper brackets. So very quickly, double checking here. Tomorrow's broadcast is going to be, let's see, it's going to be the mirror matchups. Mara versus Bjorn and MaxPax versus Trigger. Ooh, I can see that being really fast and really short games, to be honest. Oh boy. So again, a bit of a shorter broadcast today, but it's all good. It's all good. 2 hour cast. Jeez. I mean, it gives us more time to prepare. So thanks for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. And we will see you guys in 3 hours for our next cast for the Platinum StarCraft League for that monthly. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Sorry, just catching up in the chat. Just catching up. See how much of a favorite herO is? My prediction was correct. Let's go Rogue. I mean, herO, he is favored. He is favored against Rogue. But that's also why, like, context matters. Like, the games that we casted, the games we saw were not standard. The game 1, game 2, game 3 in the series, they were not standard games. We had some very specific kind of situations and kind of positions that our players were in. And again, as I mentioned, it did feel like herO was maybe a little bit too rigid and maybe a little bit overconfident in his own play. You gotta respect the Rogue, Pap. You gotta respect them. Cool. 3 hours of bunny cuddling. True. Not wrong. With that, thanks for watching, though. We're going to be giving another StarCraft stream a raid. Let's see who is live. Who can we send everyone over to? Let us quickly have a look. Fun fact, if you want to tune into my own personal content, I was actually live playing some ladder games just before the stream, only for like an hour and a half. I didn't really have much time, but we were live just before this, laddering a little bit. So if you're interested, you can follow me at light_VIP on Twitch. Otherwise, our VODs are available on YouTube, !socials in the chat. You can follow the CranKy Ducklings on YouTube, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all things CranKy Ducklings. We do go live on a daily basis, and as you can see here, our schedule is pretty intense. It's pretty jam-packed. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. But otherwise, we're going to be heading off for the time being. I don't see many people live at the moment. Hold on. Where are the people, Pat? Where are the people? We usually like to raid like somewhat smaller streamers. See, like Rex, I think he was casting, right? Rex was casting. MinoVK is live. Let's have a look. Deadly Kitten is live. He's a Swedish player in Japan. Might give some love to Deadly Kitten, I guess. Not many others though. Not many other notables, I should say. Okay, we're gonna be wrapping up. Give some love to Ome Deadly Kitten, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, bye, ciao. Until next time, hasta luego.